The French Armed Forces Ministry says its Operation Barkhane has killed Soumana Boura. Boura was a leading member of Islamic State in Niger. He died in an airstrike earlier this week. Jurors have started deliberations in the manslaughter trial of Kimberly Potter, the former Minnesota police officer who mistook her handgun for her taser and shot black motorist Dante Wright during a traffic stop. Prosecutors claim Potter acted recklessly in drawing the wrong weapon, but the defence argues the black man caused his own death by resisting arrest and attempting to flee. And a man and his son, who were both jailed for manufacturing illicit drugs, have had their sentences reduced. Police uncovered 2 drug labs in bushland in the Blue Mountains National Park. The 36-year-old man set fire to the labs in a bid to destroy the evidence. The 63-year-old father has had his sentence cut to 23 years, while the younger man will spend at least 22 years behind bars. The court's been told they produced drugs worth as much as $245 million. In sport, the Sydney Sixers defeated the Adelaide Strikers by 4 wickets overnight. Dan Christian starred for the Sixers with a stunning catch, with Jordan Silk top scoring with 36. England selectors could wield the axe after a shocking start to the Ashes series. The visitors are down 2-0, with Game 3 to get underway at the MCG on Boxing Day. Pakistan opener Abid Ali has been diagnosed with acute coronary syndrome after complaining of chest pain during a domestic first-class match. He was taken to hospital for treatment, and former disgraced NRL player Tim Simona has tried his hand at boxing. He was dumped from the NRL from stealing from a club charity fundraiser. He was beaten in the ring by Aaron Coco last night. In finance, the Dow Jones has closed down, up 561 points at 35,493, $1 Australian dollar 71.55 US cents. This is Super Network News.
2SM Sydney weather.
Cloudy with the chance of showers and a late thunderstorm, and light winds becoming southeasterly. We're heading for top temperatures of 27 degrees in the city, 31 in the west. Looking further ahead, showers tomorrow, possible showers Friday and Christmas Day. At the moment in the city, it's 23 degrees, 23 at Bankstown, 23 at Richmond. That's the latest 2SM News. I'm Diane Coveney Garland. Now the John Laws Morning Show on 2SM.
Hello world, I'm John Laws. What's on your mind, Australia? Give us a call. Tell us all about it. 1300 564 652 is that telephone number that you dial. If you'd like to send a text, 0458 049 209. And you can tell us what's on your mind. Telephone's the best, 1300 564 652, and help us keep the dream alive.
The game will never be over.
Well, there's been another huge jump in coronavirus cases in New South Wales today. 3,763 new cases. That's a jump of more than 700 from yesterday. Unfortunately, there were 2 deaths. Importantly, the hospitalisation rate remains relatively steady, with 302 people in hospitals, 40 of whom are in intensive care. Victoria has recorded 1,503 cases, and 6 people have lost their lives. So it's still virulent. It's still not as good as we would like it to be, a long way from it. Wednesday morning, December 22nd, and the latest national modelling from the Doherty Institute is predicting as many as 200,000 cases a day across the country by the end of January, without a medium level of restrictions being imposed. That's a lot. The figures seem, to me, out of whack. I don't know. It's got to be out of whack. The United Kingdom has certainly seen a spike in case numbers, but neither the United Kingdom nor the United States are anywhere near those sort of daily case numbers, and they've got much bigger populations, haven't they? It seems extraordinary to me to think that Australia could reach anywhere near 200,000 cases a day. Come on. Particularly when we're at more than 80% of eligible adults being vaccinated. At those rates, the entire country will have COVID within a fortnight, won't they? I mean, it's just stupid. Tourism testing is being blamed for some ridiculous queues for COVID tests across parts of Sydney, but others are seeking tests purely out of precaution. Now, since I raised the question yesterday, many people are now wondering about the logic of it all. Testing sites are being swamped, and in many cases it's purely out of people taking precautions. Would you have an X-ray just to check your arm wasn't broken? Of course you wouldn't. I mean, you'd only do that if you were in pain or if you had some sort of accident. So why do people get a COVID test just for the sake of getting a COVID test? Rapid antigen tests would be just as effective. You can get those. Queensland is demanding visitors have a negative PCR test before 3 days before they visit the Sunshine State. And with more than 250,000 people having flocked into Queensland from New South Wales over the past week, you can see why the pressure is on in the testing labs, and the pressure is really on. Victorians are also rushing to get tested, and again, many of those tests are being done for the same reason. It's because of people wanting to travel interstate and needing a negative test before they do so. Now, Queensland Health is now considering a change to its own requirements because travellers are finding it harder and harder to get a PCR test result within that 3-day window of arriving in the Sunshine State. You know, none of it makes any sense. It's just a ridiculous impost on people who are fully vaccinated anyway. You know, what is the sense of that? The National Cabinet will hold its final meeting of the year today, with reports the gap between your second COVID vaccination and the booster shot is going to be reduced to 4 months. The national leaders will also discuss a mask mandate, although New South Wales and Victoria appear to be at odds on that one. But all the states want booster shots brought forward. Understandably, it's a good idea, I think. Australians are expected to spend $2.7 billion over the next 3 days alone. 3 days. As cash registers and shopping centres go into overdrive. A lot of people have saved a lot of money in the lead up to Christmas, and they're planning on spoiling themselves this year, both in terms of presents and food. Prime Minister Scott Morrison has ramped up his attack on those alleged independents running against Liberal candidates. He's dubbed them the voices of Labor, and it's now been revealed that the independent challenger against the Treasurer, Josh Frydenberg, Monique Ryan, was in fact a member of the ALP for 3 years. Well, Kyle Sandilands has taken his fight to obtain a gun licence to court, where the New South Wales Police Commissioner is facing a challenge in the New South Wales Civil and Administrative Tribunal. The matter was briefly mentioned yesterday, with a hearing date set on March 7th. It's been suggested that Kyle's association with alleged underworld figures is one of the reasons why his application for a firearms licence has been rejected. What is it with you, Kyle? Why would you need a weapon, particularly a concealable weapon? Why would you need that? Why would you need a pistol? I mean, you know, if you're going to point that at somebody, they might have one and pointed right back at you. Is it a power thing? Kyle, you're a funny fella, you really are. Why the hell would you need a pistol? But I imagine that's what the authorities are asking. And a shortage of potato supplies across Japan has resulted in McDonald's stores having to ration its serves of fries. Haven't we got enough potatoes here? Medium and large size have been withdrawn from the menu in many outlets until the potato supplies pick up. I never thought that we would run out of potatoes. In sport, in cricket, Sean Abbott has become an all-time leading wicket-taker in the Big Bash League after taking 3 for 24 for the Sydney Sixers overnight. They've scored a 4-wicket win over the Adelaide Strikers with 4 balls to spare. In boxing, former NRL star Paul Gallen says he's ready to hurt. He's sounding like Muhammad Ali, ready to hurt fellow footballer Darcy Lussick when the pair meet in the ring. That's happening tonight. And the NRL has emerged as Australia's most popular sporting code, beating out the AFL, at least according to an analysis from Twitter when it comes to sports that generated the most tweets. Well, there you've got it. That's a bit of what is on my mind. I'd like to know what's on yours. All you got to do is pick up the telephone and dial the number 1300 564652.
2SM Traffic.
Multi-vehicle accident, Holroyd, the M4 approaching Church Street. Eastbound lanes 1, 4 and 3 closed. We've got emergency services in attendance. Delays go back past Burnett Street, building up rapidly. Macquarie Park Lane, Cove Road, approaching Waterloo Road. COVID-19 testing clinic northbound. Amazing Queensland holidays with flexible booking options are good to go. There are plenty of summer holiday deals from the Gold Coast to Cairns. Start planning at queensland.com. That's the latest traffic on the John Laws Morning Show.
If you're looking to start a business, buying a franchise is an excellent option, and with All Group franchises, you'll have ongoing support. The home services industry is experiencing rapid growth as people are too busy to maintain their homes. All Group franchises offers a range of home services franchise options, including lawns and gardens, and you'll be trained in every aspect. Visit allgroupfranchises.com.au or call 0429 691 413. That's 0429 691 413.
Don't like to talk about it. We bottle it all up inside. We man up like our fathers taught us, hiding the tears in our eyes. But boys do cry. Boys do cry.
When the going gets tough, get talking. Discover more at boysdocry.com.au.
Give a gift that everyone will love with Byron Bay Chocolate Company, Australia's finest chocolate-coated fruit, nuts, honeycomb and more. Try the new range. The What It Goes mix includes chocolate-covered banana and raspberry, or try the chocolate-covered honey-roasted moon macadamias, plus dark chocolate freeze-dried strawberry twitters and the Drifters Pack, a mix of chocolate-covered nuts. A little family company, big in chocolate, supplying the world. Look for the Byron Bay Chocolate Company at quality independent outlets.
If your strata complex unit or your commercial building is in need of repairs or upgrades, Network Construction Services are the remedial building specialists with more than 70 years of combined industry experience. For waterproofing, concrete, cancer repairs, facade or cladding replacement, structural repairs, upgrades to electrical and fire services and improving accessibility, you go to networkconstructionservices.com.au or you can phone Steve on 98 08 56 73.
If you want money for anything, anywhere, call Finance Easy. Your new car, boat, caravan, motorbike, whatever you'd like, big or small, Finance Easy can find you the money. You just make one call and they do the rest. It's that easy. They can even come to you. Call the down-to-earth team at Finance Easy and tell them what you need the money for and they'll arrange it hassle-free. If you want fast, same-day approval and rates better than the banks, call Finance Easy on their Easy hotline, 1300 003 003 or visit financeeasy.com.au. This is the John Laws Morning Show. What's on your mind, Australia?
Okay, tell me what is on your mind. 1300 564652. Pick up the phone, dial the number, and you can tell us all about it. Who have we got there? David, are you there?
Good morning, John. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you, David. How are you?
Oh, not too bad, thank you, John. I'm phoning from Tamworth, the Australian Country Music Festival, capital. And John, I spoke to you just a few weeks ago, and you said you've been on there for over 60 years.
Yep.
And it's made me think, any rough idea of how many calls that you've taken in all that time?
Actually, it's 68 years since I've been that I've been broadcasting. So how many telephone... look, I really couldn't tell you. About 200,000 or so?
Yes, I would think so, yeah. If you work on, say, about, 10 every day, and multiply all that...
Yeah.
That's a bloody...
Well, you can work it out. I don't have to work it out. But probably 200,000 or so, I imagine. I don't know. I've never bothered to add it up.
All right then, John. Well, I do thank you for your time, and I hope you and yours have a happy and safe Christmas.
Well, that's very nice of you, David. Where are you, did you say?
Tamworth, the Australian country music capital.
Oh, yeah, it's a lovely part of the world too, Tamworth. In addition to its accolade of being the country music capital, it happens to be a lovely town. Okay, well, have a wonderful Christmas, and thank you. 1300 564 652 if you'd like to give us a call and tell us what is on your mind. Alan, are you there?
Yeah, John.
Good day, Alan. What do you want to talk about?
Mate, I'm an old man and I'm a very disappointed bloke at the moment because of all these ridiculous advertising for gambling on TV.
Yes, it's getting very, very frustrating, isn't it?
Well, I think in the conditions where we are at the moment, I just think it's opening up Pandora's box, but it's already been opened. But yes, I think it's just making life harder for those that are doing it hard.
Well, I agree with you. I think that it's encouraging something. You're never going to win. I mean, you might think you're going to win. You might win for a little while, but you'll blow it all. It's just a waste of time, absolute waste of time, and an absolute waste of money as well. And the number of families that suffer.
I may be wrong, but I thought, I don't know, a couple of years ago or thereabout, the government brought in something about where they were going to limit the advertising for gambling on TV. I may be wrong, but I
think you're wrong. I don't remember that occurring.
No, that's okay. Yep.
But the fact is that if people want to gamble, it won't matter how many restrictions are in their way. They'll find a way to gamble. People,
well,
I mean, it is an addiction.
Yeah, I mean, as Aussies, we've always been, we'd even have a bet on two flies crawling up a wall, so, nothing's going to change it, I suppose, but it's just annoying when you're looking at TV around tea time and things like that and all these stupid, ads about what you can do with your gambling and so forth, but anyway. That's all I want to do, mate. I've just been thinking about it for a while and just thought I'd give you a ring and get it off my chest, I suppose.
Anyway, it's a good reminder, Alan. Don't gamble. Simple as that.
Yeah.
There aren't too many don'ts in our world. Don't gamble is a good one, and the other one is don't smoke. But don't gamble, that's a crazy thing to do. I mean, you're giving your money away.
Yep, exactly right. And it's too hard to come by.
It sure is. Okay, Alan, thank you for the call.
Traffic update.
Holroyd, the M4 Church Street multi-vehicle accident. Eastbound lanes 1 and 2 closed. We've got extensive delays as a result. Avoid that if you can. It's putting up Bradford down towards that South Whitfield area. We get heavy traffic. Liverpool to Hume approaching Elizabeth Drive northbound. Coles makes entertaining easy with Coles fresh cooked Black Tiger prawns. They're Aussie and just $27 a kilo until January 4 while stocks last. That's the latest traffic on the John Laws Morning Show on 2SM 1216.
Hi, Graham Hughes. When I retired, old football injuries meant that I was staring down the barrel of knee surgery until I discovered Arbor Vitae Joint Health. Like it did for me, Arbor Vitae can really help you manage arthritis and other aches and pains. Always read the label. Use only as directed, and if symptoms persist, consult your healthcare professional. Go to Arbor Vitae, ARBORVITAE.com.au or phone them 1300 879 863.
When you add your car to the Car Sales Garage, you'll own more than just your car. You'll own the right moment to sell, now and in the future, getting real-time demand and price comparisons for your vehicle straight to your inbox. And fuel prices? You'll own the fuel pump with discounts, get exclusive offers, and even own when to change your tyres. So sign up today and own everything you ought to know about your car with Car Sales for Owners.
Peters of Kensington's bridal registry service has been the first choice for Sydney's discerning couples for 40 years. With Peters' legendary customer service and huge range of products, finding the perfect gifts for your big day couldn't be easier. Visit Peters of Kensington at 57 Anzac Parade, Kensington to set up your registry or organise it online at petersofkensington.com.au. When it comes to gorgeous gifts, why in the world would you shop anywhere else but Peters of Kensington?
Finance Easy can help you through these uncertain financial times. Whether you need to get on top of bills, business loans, car loans, equipment finance, Finance Easy can take the stress out of finding finance with Australia's best rates. We are here to support the community. Chat to us online or over the phone and let us take care of everything. Visit financeeasy.com.au or call 1300 003 003. Finance Easy. That's EZI. We make getting what you want easy.
Imagine never using toilet paper again. Just by changing your toilet seat, you can install an automatic bidet seat from the Bidet Shop that will wash you with warm water, then help dry you off with warm air. And the water the bidet provides has silver ions, helping protect you from germs and viruses. Mention this ad and get a standard installation free or up to $200 off. The Bidet Shop. That's THEBIDET shop.com.au or phone 80 39 45 18.
John Laws has Sydney talking. 2SM.
.64652. Tristan from Shoalhaven Heads says if you jumped off a bridge in Paris, you'd be insane. That's very, very corny. It's good. Well, the Mother Superior, who's got a sense of humour like a rock, thinks that's funny. So you've achieved something, son. You've done well, Tristan. Okay, call us. Tell us what's on your mind. 1300 564 652. Oh, dear. I don't like the sound of that. Barry, are you there?
Morning, John. How are you?
Okay, Barry, what do you want to talk about?
I just wanted to let everybody know that on this day in 1880, Thomas Edison invented the first Christmas tree light.
You're quite right. He did. Good old Tom.
He may have been one of Santa's helpers.
He what?
He may have been one of Santa's helpers.
Well, he might have been one of Santa's helpers. I don't know. He was certainly the electricity company's helper because people light those things up all over the world now. Imagine the cost of electricity on the rise as soon as all those lights are turned on. Anyway, Thomas Edison was the inventor of the first, at least the first successful light bulb, created the very first strand of electric lights as well, as you have said. Thank you for reminding us of that, Barry.
Okay, thank you, John. Thanks for your call. Hooroo.
Hooroo. But I didn't call you Barry, you called me. 1300 564 652 if you'd like to give us a call. Did I do useless information or not? Okay, I thought I did. Anyway, obviously I didn't. A bit of useless information. A bolt of lightning is 5 times hotter than the sun.
Traffic update.
Burwood M4 East Tunnel, a truck back down westbound lane 3, Narrabeen, Pittwater Road at Ocean Street, 2-car accident closed southbound Falcon Bridge, the Great Western Highway just past Wamalik Avenue, the 2-car accident eastbound direction. We got services in attendance here. It's not too late to give your loved ones exactly what they want this Christmas. A Coles Group and Myer gift card with thousands of stores and millions of gifts to choose from. Available in-store. Terms and conditions apply. That's the latest traffic on 2SM 1269.
Do you experience discomfort from varicose veins? Maybe you get leg or ankle swelling, heaviness, fatigue, leg pain, aching or cramping. If so, you may be suffering from chronic venous insufficiency. Nearly 25% of adults are affected with venous reflux disease, with only 17% of people being diagnosed and only 1% receiving treatment. So if you're having trouble with varicose veins, ask your doctor about treatment options and see if the radiofrequency ablation procedure could be right for you. A message from Medtronic.
For radio lovers, it all adds up. DAB Plus gives a new appreciation for your favourite station, where announcers sound nearer. You're closer to the game. Even traffic is clearer. And with DAB Plus, there's even more for us. Think music, think guests, and all the rest. More than 20 extra stations. I can tell you're impressed. So upgrade your audio with a brand new radio, because there's more to love for us on DAB Plus.
Brett Kamoy here for Gallagher Insurance Brokers. More than 100,000 businesses around Australia trust Gallagher. That's 100,000 small, medium and large businesses facing their future with confidence. With Gallagher on your side, you'll be ready to tackle any challenge while covering gaps in your field and protecting your day-to-day. Gallagher, the official insurance broker of the NRL. Visit ajg.com.au or head into your local branch.
Can't do the lawns today, love. The arthritis is too bad.
Sound familiar? No excuses, girls. Use Arthrobalm. No more pain. Give him Arthrobalm, girls. It works.
Grab your bonus offer today, exclusive to Bloom's Chemist. Buy one, get one free.
That's right.
Buy one, get one free.
Or buy direct.
1300 883 869. 1300 883 869.
With more and more people preferring to shop online these days, a new website from List Designs will help you harness these potential customers. List Designs will create a website for your business that's affordable, functional and looks fantastic. Mention 2SM and get an HTML or WordPress 10-page website tailor-made for your specific requirements from just $600. Go to lisdesigns.com.au or call List Designs on 0422 356 850.
2SM 1269 AM, 2SM Digital, and online at 2smsupernetwork.com.
Okay, 1300 564 652. If you'd like to give us a call and tell us what's on your mind, pick up the phone, dial the number 1300 564 652. Who we got there? Tim, are you there?
John, how you going, mate?
I'm pretty good, Tim. What's happening?
Not much, mate, just at work. What are you doing? Obviously working too.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm doing, but it's not like work. It's just like talking to old friends. It's easy.
Oh, that's good, mate. Mate, long-time listener, first-time caller.
Yep.
That's good to talk to you. Mate, you've had a few callers call in over the past few months talking about an old house that you used to live in, Bora.
Yeah, that's right, Daryl.
Daryl, that's right. My good friend's dad owns that house, and I go there a little bit. We play a bit of music in one of the old front rooms there, and it's a lovely old house. I just thought I'd ring up and...
Oh, it's a beautiful old house. It really is a lovely old house. I often say I'd like to buy it back, but if I could, and I probably can't, I don't know what I'd do with it. But I had a wonderful time there. It had that lovely long gravel drive. I believe the gravel drive's gone now, though, and they've got a straight entrance from that side street. But it was a beautiful, beautiful house.
Yeah, the big old ceilings and the old plaster cornice. I'm a plasterer by trade, so I can appreciate the workmanship in that house. So it was awesome.
Yeah, that's right. It was built about 1840. It's a very, very old house.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I've just recently brought my first house with my partner in Newcastle, but it's an old little miner's cottage built in the 1800s as well. So. Well,
that's lovely. If it's got a bit of history, it's good. All you got to do is look after it, and it'll last you forever, because they built them beautifully. That house, that Daryl, was beautifully built house.
Yeah, very much so, mate. You have a lovely Christmas. I just thought I'd ring up and let you know.
That's very nice of you to tell me about that. I like to hear about that old house. It's a
very good, Nick, and it's been very well looked after.
Well, that's a good thing, because it's a lovely house. It's got a lot of charm. It's got a lot of history. It's been there for a long time. Anyway, Timmy, good on you. Thank you for the call. Well, as the coronavirus cases across the country surge, thanks to the Omicron variant, National Cabinet's going to meet this morning with a fast-tracked booster shot arrangement and additional safety measures at the top of the agenda. But what I hope our leaders remember when they sit down together are the two very important points which make the current outbreak different to anything that we've had before. According to evidence across the world, and from preliminary evidence here, the Omicron variant is proving to be more mild than the past variants, which is something. It's quite obviously more transmissible. New South Wales has hit the 3,000 cases per day mark, and Queensland yesterday had a record day with 86 cases. Heading into the meeting with the warning from the Doherty Institute that the country could be recording 200,000 cases a day by late January or early February. I don't think that's very helpful. Is that possible? It'll no doubt cause a great deal of concern for our country's leaders, but from our own data, Omicron appears to be very manageable. It arrived in Australia more than a month ago, and to date there are no confirmed cases of Omicron in the country's intensive care units, and from what we've read, the information available to us, there have been no deaths. The second important point, which makes the outbreak very different from the Delta outbreak, is that almost everybody in the country is vaccinated. We've got one of the highest rates of vaccination in the entire world. The Prime Minister and the New South Wales Premier are facing mounting pressure to reintroduce mask mandates indoors. Every doctor in the country has a different opinion, but the opinion seems to be the most dominant, that we should be wearing masks. And if that's what we've got to do, then that's what we'll do. I don't want our leaders going into this meeting on the back of the fear-mongering advice from the Doherty Institute and make some sort of ridiculous and dangerous snap decision. The number of cases is slowing, and yes, and that's important. But it's becoming a bit redundant too, the number of cases. But what matters is how many people are in hospital and how many are in intensive care. What we should be focusing on is the fact that there are no Omicron cases in intensive care and no Omicron deaths in the country, and we should focus on that. Look for the positives, okay? I'll say it again. We should be focusing on the fact that there are no Omicron cases in intensive care and no Omicron deaths in the country. If this isn't time to live with the virus, as we've been told 1,000 times before, then when is? I mean, we've got to get on with it. We've probably got a less deadly variant in the community at the moment, and most of us are vaccinated anyway. So live life. Get on with it. Tell me what's on your mind. 1300 564 652. Phil, are you there?
Yes, morning, John.
Good day, Phil. How are you doing?
Oh, good, apart from us being smashed by a storm last night in Inverell.
Wow, a bad one?
Oh, pretty much. It lifted a few things around the yard, but caused a bit of a power outage. But no, the reason I called, I just would like to compliment you with your show over the years. For as long as we've had it in Inverell on and off, I've been a listener.
That's nice of you, thank you.
I particularly appreciate your proper usage of the language, and one of the things that's always stuck with me, I admire the way your voice has changed with age for the better, and I liken you to Sean Connery. Oh,
well, I don't mind that at all.
No, he's certainly a pure gentleman that just improved and improved with age, and certainly going through the years and years of James Bond and how his voice changed over the age is exactly what I see as I hear some of your older replays like Pike's Nursery, etc. And yes.
Yeah, look, I can tell you something about Sean Connery. I know him and I like him, and I've had 2 interesting occasions with him, but he's not a gentleman, far from it. Hey. He's got a very short temper, Sean Connery, but
okay,
very short temper. But nonetheless, he filled the bill. I thought he was terrific as Bond. I thought he was the best of them all.
Yeah.
And sadly, he died last year. I don't know how old he was.
I think he made his early 90s, around that mark.
Yeah, well, he may well have done that. May well have done it. Yeah. All right, Phil, thank you very much for the call. It was good to talk to you, and I'm glad that you liked the program, and I thank you for the compliment.
Yeah, and enjoy your Christmas break, your New Year, and time together with family and friends.
Thanks, Phil, very much, and you too. Yeah, Sean Connery was about 90, I think, wasn't he? Or was 90 when he died. But he was an extraordinary man. I mean, whoa. If he didn't like you, he let you know. I had a wonderful time with him on 2 occasions. Once here, when he came here to do, I think he came here to do some commercials for American Express or something, as did Roger Miller and as did somebody else. They were bringing them out here. It might not have been American Express for Sean Connery, but he was here doing something. And I met with him, and I think I had a lunch or a dinner with him, one or the other. And he was a fascinating man. He didn't take himself seriously at all. He was very light-hearted. He thought the whole thing was amusing. I asked him if he ever thought he was James Bond, and he nearly fell on the floor laughing. Because he said, well, you've got to live the part, but not to that extent. 1300 564 652. Lydia, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Well, Lydia, what do you want to talk about?
Oh, good morning, John. I just wanted to let you know that up in the Northern Rivers here of New South Wales, we're being threatened with losing our railway line and for a bike path instead called a rail trail. And the New South Wales government's been working its way towards cutting us off from rail services in the past, and now we've got the potential. We've got 2 rail companies that have been registered to bring rail.
Okay, but look, before we go any further, isn't that simply a proposal? I don't think that's definite yet, is it?
Oh, yes, no, it's definite. They've closed the 2 ends of the line from Casino to Bentley and also from Crabs Creek up to Murwillumbah, and they've started pulling up some tracks up near Murwillumbah last week. And we are concerned because we have no real public transport up here for such an incredibly fast-growing region, and we have 2.5 million visitors to Byron Bay every year, or most years.
And there's going to be no train line at all?
No, that's what they're wanting. And we're working very hard to save our train line and to bring services back. But it's a challenge. We're really wanting to take legal action now.
Okay, when you say they, who's the they to which you refer?
It's the state government, and also the local councils have been drawn in on it because the dollars are being dangled in front of them.
Okay, well, tell me who you're lobbying for. Somebody, who are you lobbying for?
For the community, basically. I've been working for years in local rail groups, and now I'm part of a not-for-profit charity, Northern Rivers Rail Limited, it's called, which is a railway company that we've registered to be owned by the community to bring the services back.
What's that company called?
It's called, you can look it up, and it'd be wonderful if people did, to become a member for $20. We're trying to get more members on board. northernriversrail.com.au. It's actually Northern Rivers Rail Limited is the name of the company, and we're working with another company that's been registered that's full of rail people. We're just locals who are very concerned about making it all happen, but they are railway people who can actually do the work, Northern Regional Railway Company, but they're being stymied by...
Okay, but look, you need to tell me what's your connection to this, Lydia, because you're doing some very heavy lobbying here. How are you involved?
I'm just a local. I'm just a person. I happen to be on the board of this not-for-profit railway company now because we felt something had to be done because there's been no community consultation in our region. They've hand-picked 40 people out of 95,000 in the Tweed Shire and 30 people out of 27,000 in Richmond Valley. Sorry, I get all choked up about it. And we know for sure that the elderly, the disabled, 24% of our population up here has disabilities. And the youth, they leave the area because there's no public transport. We have a few privately owned buses, but they usually only run in strange times, nothing on the week.
Okay, but Lydia, my dear, you're lobbying very heavily here, but on whose behalf are you lobbying? Whose side are you on? I mean, what are you trying to do here? You're trying to convince me of something or convince the listeners of something. What is that? You want to keep the train line there?
Yeah, so we can bring rail services back that are owned by the community, that because we have such an incredible...
Okay, so they've only got the track there. They haven't got any trains. Is that it?
They stopped the services in 2004 after they changed it. It was actually the most profitable service in New South Wales until 1980, and they quietly sacked the manager on Christmas Eve, and then started running the service down, and then ended up giving us the one XPT service later.
Okay, but didn't you say that the tracks have already been dismantled?
No. Only a 200-metre section in the Tweed near Murwillumbah. Just last week they've started doing that. But we are saying we do not want to lose these tracks. We can have the bike trail, but it can go on the side. There's plenty of space. It's a minimum 32-metre corridor, goes up to 100 metres wide in some places, like Byron Bay, which we're thinking might be the reason they're trying to do all this, because they can sell the corridor off. But
who's in charge of this project? Is it the state government, the local council? Who's in charge?
Yeah, state government working with local councils. Luckily, in the recent elections in council, looks like we might have the numbers on Byron Shire and Lismore Shire councils to actually look into the potential of having both the rail coming back and the bike trail on the side. But we're really just wanting people to know about it, to hear, and to become members if they can. And we just wanted to let you know because it's just a crazy...
Well, look, if the project's already underway, I'm not sure it can be changed now.
Oh yeah, we're working on it. We don't want it to happen. We don't want to lose this incredible. This is Heritage Railway, built in 1894.
Yes, I know it's got history, but
so well.
I really don't know enough about it. But you've done your lobbying, my dear Lydia, and you've done it fairly well. We'll keep an eye on it and see which way it does go. If the government's involved, both the state government and the federal government, you're going to, and they've made up their mind about it, you're going to be flat out getting that changed.
We know we're flat out, but we're on the side of the people. So we're doing it because that's all.
Well, you see, that's difficult when you say we're on the side of the people. The government tells us that they are on the side of the people too. So who do we believe, Lydia?
They've never asked us. They've never had any community consultation. And so that's what we know. We had 10,000 signatures go to Parliament last year, and they...
Yes, you know where those signatures would wind up?
Yeah.
In the waste paper basket. That's where those sort of things
Some people stood up for us. Mark Latham and the Greens and a few others, the Shooters and Fishers, they all stood up for us and said, God, these people need a rail service back there. It's such an incredibly well-used region. So many people live here and all the visitors.
Well, it certainly is. Anyway, Lydia, we'll keep an eye on it. I don't know. We'll keep an eye on it and see if there's any advantage in going to bat for you or for the people. We need to know what the people... We're interested in the people, not the government. So let's see if we can find out a little more about it, Lydia. But thank you for the call anyway.
There's a place on a blank stretch of road where nobody travels, nobody goes, and the desk man says these days round here, well, two young folks could probably up and disappear into rustling sheets of sleepy corner room and to the musty smell of wilted flowers, lazy afternoon hours at the Moonlight Motel. The pool's filled with empty, 8 foot deep, got dandelions grown up through the cracks in the concrete. Chain link fence half rusted away. Got a sign says, children, be careful how you pray. So lipstick taste in your whispered secret I promised I'd never tell. Half-drawn beer, your breath in my ear at the Moonlight Motel.
Yeah, I love it. I think it's a terrific song, The Moonlight Motel. Springsteen, we'll go back to it once. Incidentally, he just sold his catalogue for something like $500 million. His catalogue of music. 500 million, a lot of money. 1300 564 652. It's been a pretty busy year for police across New South Wales, several high-profile crime operations, and of course the response to the pandemic that would have kept them busy. The 17,000-strong force has been led extremely well, and I mean that, extremely well, by a man who I know well, for whom I've got a great deal of respect. His name is Mick Fuller. You would know that anyway. Sadly, he's handing the reins to a new commissioner in April of next year after more than 3 decades in the police force. That's a long time. The commissioner, Mick Fuller, joins me on the line. Mick, good morning and welcome to the program.
Good morning to you, John, and your listeners.
In terms of challenging times for policing, Mick, do you think this year has been maybe the most difficult?
Well, I certainly think from March 2020, when COVID really took hold on probably the world, but certainly New South Wales and Australia, John, I think it has probably been one of the most challenging times to police, because you're balancing a pandemic and people's health and mental health, but of course crime doesn't take a day off. So we certainly were spinning plenty of plates, but at the same time, John, as you know, that we've talked about this, that COVID has had a significant impact on everyone, and I was just proud that the force managed to really push through and maintain a strong police presence and protecting the people of New South Wales.
Well, you too, you take a bit of credit. You've done terrific work there. You've been in office for 3 decades? You've been the Commissioner for 5 years, probably.
Yeah, what's early next year, and it'll be my 35th year in policing, John. So it has really captured most of my working life.
Yeah. What's been the most challenging or the most confronting situation with which you've had to deal? What has been the biggest problem in policing in that period of time?
Well, I think that communities, have grown over time. So there's been an evolution of the community and community expectations, John, and every generation has a different expectation of police, and at the same time you have contemporary crimes like having your car stolen or your house broken into, and whilst they're at record lows at the moment, we see the evolution of new types of crime, particularly around technology-based crime. So you're always looking in the rear view mirror for crimes of yesterday, but then at the same time, every day there's a new crime syndicate looking for a new criminal opportunity. So there is this continual evolution of law enforcement trying to protect people from not just threats of yesterday or today, but what's the threat going to be tomorrow?
Well, that's it. Do you have any idea of what the threat may be tomorrow, Commissioner?
I think, what a commissioner now, John, looks at in terms of scanning. In the past, it was really around crime statistics, but now we look closely at inflation numbers, and we look closely at interest rates, and we look closely about our major partners in terms of their economic success or failures, knowing that if unemployment rates go up, John, then within a year or two, we know that will have a negative impact on crime. So you're really trying to keep your eye on a whole range of indicators now to try and forecast what the next crime problem will be. But certainly one of the emerging threats continually is around cyber and this ability for people to be sitting in a country that we can't get to, are stealing money from decent people in New South Wales. And just as an ongoing message, even if it was my last message, John, is that your listeners just need to be so careful in terms of scams. And even in the recent storms on the northern beaches, we had people knocking on doors trying to scam people out of money to do cleanups. And it's unfortunate that these things happen, but your listeners just need to be consistently aware that unfortunately there are some people out there that will try and exploit them in their time of need.
And there always will be, won't there?
Unfortunately, that is a case, and you'd like to think there was a day where you won't need a police commissioner or a strong police force, but the reality is the evolution of crime and society means that I think police will always play an important role in keeping people safe.
We lost a pretty remarkable police minister yesterday with David Elliott being given a new portfolio. He's, from what I hear, is pretty sad about it all. Are you sad to see him go?
Look, I was, John, and he was someone who was very easy to work for. COVID was a challenging time to police. We had to move quickly. I had to make lots and lots of decisions, and often I was telling him after I'd made the decision, and he was extremely respectful of the separation of the powers, and both him and his wife Nicole and his sons. I know that they were also sad. And the reality is he'll go on to a much, much bigger portfolio that probably needs a safe set of hands at the moment as well. And the incoming police minister, who's the deputy premier but the member for Bathurst, and local police love him. He's always had a good relationship with police, and I'm sure that there'll be a seamless handover.
Let's hope there is. I mean, your departure paves the way for the state's first female police commissioner. I imagine you know her well. Are we in safe hands?
Absolutely. Current Deputy Commissioner-elect, these days we call it Commissioner-elect, Karen Webb, is also an extremely experienced police officer with 34 to 35 years, and she's been an operational, hands-on police officer. And it's more, she is the first woman, but it's not about being the first woman. She was the best person for the job, and And I hand over, and I'll probably hand over a little earlier to her because she is ready to go. And look, she will bring her own style, John, and people would expect that at the same time, but has an impeccable work ethic, understands policing and community policing, and I think she'll be a real asset and probably bring a new energy to the force as well, John. After a couple of long years, you sort of can't deny that you don't have the same energy that you had when you started in 2017.
You're very honest, Mick, but I know exactly what you mean. But tell me this, between gun violence in the western suburbs, drug dealers operating all over the place, and terrible, terrible domestic violence incidents, what should the next Commissioner's main focus be? What's she got to focus on?
Well, from my perspective, it's about supporting police on the ground doing a difficult job, and we often are criticised. Lots of people get their mobile phones out and start filming police in the execution of their duty. I think that sort of continual support of police in doing a challenging job, and I think it's probably more about the government making sure that they continue to cut legislation that allows police to chase unexplained wealth or asset confiscation from these criminal groups, John, because we arrest these people regularly, but we really need the ability to dive deep into their assets to make sure that we're punishing them not just with a prison sentence, but we're getting all the money out of these criminal syndicates, which, if that was done well, we could almost pay for policing through that strategy. So I think the continual focus on drugs and organised crime will happen. In terms of domestic and family violence, I think one thing we can be proud of as a community is that we did see a huge drop in domestic and family violence during COVID at a time when we were all at home together. So I think there are some real positives to come out of COVID, but nevertheless, domestic and family violence, sexual violence and organised crime will continue to challenge the new Commissioner, no doubt, but she is ready for that as well.
Yeah. It seems that domestic violence is a major concern, particularly violence against women. I
agree, John. I definitely agree. But what I would say is that over the last 10 years in my time working in this space, it's no longer an issue that people say it's a private matter or it's a matter for behind closed doors. And the rates in which victims now have confidence in coming forward, I think speaks volumes about the cultural change. We just need to continue to make sure that we're enforcing these laws strong and that hopefully the next generation of young men have more respect for women. And I'm not certainly blaming every man out there, John, like you, like me, have enormous respect for women. But we do need to continue to protect women and children in society. I think that's part of our job.
I think it's part of our job, but not only as police individuals, and you're a very important one, but as human beings. We need to protect women. I think it's a very important thing. Listen, I read yesterday about the $1 million silver robbery. It disappeared, but we don't know when it went missing or from where it went missing. Any updates on that?
Detectives are now interviewing a whole range of people, looking at CCTV. These sorts of vehicles have trackers in them, John, so that the investigations are much more complex than they used to be 20 or 30 years ago, and we really need to get evidence on all of the electronics that we can. And people might have dashboard footage from their car, or could be RMS cameras. So this will be a lengthy investigation. Unusual crime, and certainly has the potential to have links, I guess as we call it, as an inside job, John, because not many people would have known about this, but nevertheless we have local detectives and detectives from state crime investigating, and these types of matters are generally solved, and got confidence that the police will do that.
What I do struggle to understand, though, Mick, is how the truck driver didn't realise his truck was 1 tonne lighter. Wouldn't you? Can you tell us if the silver was swapped with weights or something to make up for the disappearance?
I don't have that amount of information, but I think one of the great dangers in life for all of us is complacency, and often when someone becomes a victim of a crime, whether that's cyber or whether that's having a laptop stolen off the front of your seat, it often comes down to complacency, or you're rushed and you haven't checked things properly, you haven't locked the car door properly, you haven't taken the laptop with you, and look, it might be a case where the driver will just become complacent in terms of moving this type of, product every day. Perhaps there was some complacency, but all of these things will be looked at by us and no doubt the owners who are down $1 million in silver.
Yeah, well, it's a lot of money.
A lot of money.
A lot of silver. All right, Mick, well, I hope you have a terrific Christmas, and I hope we get to talk to each other soon, whether on a business level or whether on a personal level. I always enjoy talking to you. I think you've been a terrific commissioner, and I know that you're going to be missed by many people when you do decide to call it a day.
Oh, John, thank you for your support over the time, and certainly your listeners have been a great supporter of mine and New South Wales Police, and I wish you and your team and all your listeners a really safe Christmas as well.
Okay, tell me, what are you going to be doing in your new career?
Well, I'll be unemployed for a period of time, and then I've got to, like everyone else does, John, start looking for a new job. So everyone has said to me, look, don't rush into anything. So I'll take off some time in January and hand over to Karen in like I said, in great hands, and then I'll just see what the next phase of my life looks like for Andrea and I. But it's exciting as well.
Yeah. Have you got any ideas of what you might do?
No, not at all. I haven't had a chance, to be honest with you, to reflect too much on where I've been and where I'm going. As you said, there was a $1 million theft yesterday. There'll be something today, and there'll be something tomorrow. And I'm worried about the road toll over Christmas, making sure that we don't lose any lives on the road. So I've got to be honest with you, I really haven't had a chance to take a breath and think about it. But I'll have plenty of time to do that next year when I retire.
Okay, well, I hope you have a terrific Christmas with your family. And I hope that we get to not only talk to each other but see each other, because I enjoy you very much and I think you've done a fabulous job, a really fabulous job.
God bless you, John. Thank you so much.
Okay, and we'll talk soon, Mick. Thank you very much for your time.
Okay, bye, mate.
Bye. Bye. Okay, if you'd like to give us a call, he's a good man, Mick Fuller. He will be missed by many people, I can tell you that. I'm interested in the silver robbery. How the hell the truck driver didn't know that his rig was lighter? Anyway, something's gone on. We'll be able to keep an eye on it, and we'll certainly keep you informed, but I think it's a fascinating story. Okay, we've got the news coming up in a moment or two, and then we'll come back for a couple of hours, take you through until midday today, so you've got plenty of time if you'd like to give us a call. If you would like to send a text message, 0458 049 209. Keep it brief if you possibly can, but I'll give you it again, the number, 0458 049 209. But the telephone's easier if you want to talk directly to us. Pick up the phone, dial the number, 1300 564652, 1300 564652, and tell me what is on your mind.
Good morning. I'm Diane Coveney Garland. New South Wales has reported 3,763 new COVID cases in the latest testing period. 2 people died from the virus in the last 24 hours. Victoria recorded 6 COVID-related deaths and 1,503 new cases. A man's died in a crash on the New South Wales south coast. The motorbike he was riding collided with a car at an intersection in Shellharbour at 6:45 this morning. The motorcyclist was treated at the scene by paramedics but was unable to be revived. The 61-year-old woman who was driving the car was taken to hospital for mandatory testing. Police Commissioner Mick Fuller will hand over the reins soon to the first female to take on the top job in New South Wales. Karen Webb will take over the role next year. Mr Fuller says the nature of crime is changing. He's told John Laws technology has made a big difference.
Crimes like having your car stolen or your house broken into, and whilst they're at record lows at the moment, we see the evolution of new types of crime, particularly around technology-based crime. So you're always looking in the rear-view mirror for crimes of yesterday, but then at the same time, every day there's a new crime syndicate looking for a new criminal opportunity.
A 28-year-old Sydney man will face Liverpool local court today, charged with possession of child abuse material. Officers raided the man's Moorebank home yesterday after he allegedly uploaded the child abuse material to several social media platforms. The maximum penalty for the offences is between 10 and 15 years behind bars. A 40-year-old man is recovering in hospital after an aggravated break and enter in central west New South Wales. Police say he confronted two men in his Dubbo home at 2 o'clock this morning. He suffered a stab wound before being knocked unconscious. His attackers are yet to be located. A senior Queensland police officer has been charged with rape. The 52-year-old man is accused of sexually assaulting a woman while off duty in 1999. The woman, who was known to the man, was 27 at the time of the alleged offence. The commissioned officer has been suspended and will face Brisbane Magistrates Court next month. The Royal Australian College of General Practitioners is calling for more support for GPs. Some doctors will have to open outside hours to allow for an influx of children to have their COVID preventative dose. RACGP President Dr Karen Price says they're already stretched to the limit.
Managing the very small rebate means that we're going to need more resources to manage staff over time. So, you know, everyone gets paid a bit more for presenting after hours, our nurses, our administration staff and so forth, and we're going to have to open up clinics and so forth. So there's going to be a need for more resources.
The New South Wales Veterans Affairs Minister David Elliott is looking at the establishment of a cemetery for war heroes. Mr Elliott's keen to have a set-up similar to the Arlington National Cemetery in the United States. He's going to put the proposal to the Prime Minister, Scott Morrison. The plan also includes a chapel and a memorial for veterans who've died by suicide. Their deaths would be recognised as service-related. In sport, cricket fans may have to wear masks if they attend the Boxing Day test at the MCG. They may not have to cover their faces in the stands, but are likely to have masks on while they line up to buy food or drinks or to get into the game. The Dolphins still have only one marquee signing, Felice Kaufusi, but the Melbourne Storm forward says he'd love some of his teammates to join him at the new club. He says he'd like Harry Grant and Cameron Munster to sign up with the Dolphins as well, while Kaufusi admits it would be good if the Newcastle Knights' Kalen Ponga also joined the team. Czech world number 32 Karolina Muchova will miss the Australian Open. The 25-year-old who made the last four of the tournament this year is out through injury. She hasn't played since her first-round loss at the US Open in September. She joins a number of other players, including Jennifer Brady, Serena Williams and Bianca Andreescu, in missing the first major of the year. In finance, the All Ordinaries has opened at 7,686 and $1 Australian is buying 71.51 US cents. This is Super Network News.
2SM Sydney weather.
Cloudy with the chance of showers and a late thunderstorm and light winds becoming southeasterly. We're heading for top temperatures of 27 degrees in the city, 31 in the west. Looking further ahead, showers tomorrow, possible showers Friday and Christmas Day. At the moment in the city, it's 23 degrees, 23 at Bankstown, 23 at Richmond. That's the latest 2SM News. I'm Diane Coveney-Garland. Now the John Laws Morning Show on 2SM.
What do you want to make good eyes with me for? If they don't mean what they say, they make me glad, they make me sad, they make me want a lot of things that I never had. You fooling around with me now. Well, you lead me on and then you run away. Well, that's alright, I'll get you lonesome now. And baby, you'll find you're messing with dynamite. So what do you wanna make me nice with people if they don't mean what they say? What do you wanna make me nice with people if they don't mean what they say? They make me glad, they make me sad, they You fooling around with me now. Well, you lead me on and then you run away. Well, that's alright. I'll get you alone someday. And baby, you'll find you're messing with dynamite. So what do you wanna make those eyes at me for? If they don't mean what they say, if they don't mean what they say.
Whap. Love it. Yes, sir. What do you want to make those eyes at me for if you don't mean what they say? Okay. Oh, dear. Mick, are you there?
Hey, Merry Christmas, me young friend. How are you, pal?
I'm all right, thank you, Mudgy Mick. How the hell are you?
Oh, mate, I've got the depression, mate. I look like spending another Christmas on my own.
Why are you spending Christmas on your own?
Well, mate, Pauline Hanson, I sent 3 letters. I didn't get any reply, so, mate, I'll tell you what I had. Now, listen, John, you remember when you got me off that stupid weed?
Yes, I do remember when I got you off the weed.
Yeah, the best thing you ever done. I've been doing a little bit of volunteer work. Not a lot, about 8 hours a week. Mate, you've never had a pumpkin scone until it's been cooked by an 84-year-old woman from Mudgee.
I can imagine. A pumpkin scone cooked by an 84-year-old woman from Mudgee would be almost the perfect pumpkin scone.
It is absolutely change your life material, mate. I just go and help a couple of these old dears with their groceries and a bit of gardening. Makes me feel good.
Yeah, well, it does, mate. Is that what you're doing? What a good thing to do.
Oh, it's only 8 hours a week, mate. I've still got to work and that, but just of an afternoon, I thought I'd give a little... I'll tell you what I had to do yesterday, young man. I'll tell you, I went to the dentist. 12 minutes I was in the chair and he whacked me for $460.
Wow. Wow. You were only in the chair for 4 minutes?
No, 12 minutes. I spent 47 minutes waiting, 12 minutes in the chair, and he had a lovely deduction there for me of $460.
Wow. Wow.
In the wrong business, you and me, young fella.
Oh, yeah, we are.
I'll tell you what, since I've been doing this volunteer work, mate, now, I'm not blowing smoke up it or trying to get a pudding, but you'd be shocked at how many people's day revolves around you. Their day starts at 9 o'clock with a cup of tea and a bit of toast, and then when you knock off at 12, they know it's lunchtime, and then they set their day up around you and me, you know.
Well, that's very nice if they do that. We mustn't let them down.
No, well, exactly. Now, can I throw one last thing? Oh, before I go, I'm going to say Merry Christmas to you. You know I love you dearly. But, mate, let's just imagine if you could have someone with you for Christmas dinner, apart from, obviously, your dearly departed, but who would you sit down for Christmas dinner with?
Jesus Christ.
Oh, jeez. Jeez, you blew me away.
Yeah?
I was going to sit down with Johnny Cash.
Well, maybe we could invite him along as well, huh?
Jesus Christ. Well, speaking of Jesus Christ, do you think we should throw the olive branch out to Susan just to come back next year?
No, I think we might leave Susan to her own devices. She can come back when she wants to come back. I've apologised to her. I can't do any more than that.
Oh, no, mate, you've been over backwards to help her out. Now, listen, son, you have a beautiful Christmas, a safe Christmas, and don't drink too much of that wild turkey, and you and me will catch up next year, and I'll love you to death.
On you, Mick, and all the same to you, son. All the same to you. 1300 564 652, our telephone number. You know, the various forms of this COVID pandemic over the past couple of years have created all sorts of headaches for major sporting codes like the AFL and the NRL. And the events of the past few days suggest next year's seasons may prove to be the most challenging yet. This Omicron variant of the virus has shown us how quickly things can change. Now, the Australian Test cricket captain, Pat Cummins, was forced to miss the Adelaide match because he'd been deemed a close contact of somebody who had tested positive at the same Adelaide restaurant. Now, other members of the Australian bowling attack, including Nathan Lyon, could have also been ruled out, except for the fact that they sat outside. they avoided being deemed a close contact by sitting outside. Now, had several players been ruled out, that it's likely the Test match would have been abandoned, and that would have been a big hit on Cricket Australia, a big one. The broadcasters are pouring millions of dollars into these sports. It's if games don't go ahead, the broadcasters seek a reduced rate on their outlay, and you can't blame them. And as we head towards autumn next year and the start of the AFL and the NRL seasons, these challenges are going to be even more pronounced. With the Australian Test cricket team, you're juggling a squad of 15 players. With the NRL, you've got 30-odd players as part of the first-grade squad and 16 clubs. And that's before you even include coaches and conditioners and trainers and medical staff and office support and all those sorts of things. You know, there are a lot of people with the potential for any of them to either test positive to COVID or be deemed as a close contact, with a major knock-on effect for the clubs playing rosters. Could have a hell of an effect on the rosters. The Telegraph reports today that 2 Canberra Raiders players and 1 staff member have tested positive for COVID. They're going to be forced to isolate at Christmas time. You know, if that was to occur during the season, then there'd be a likelihood that more players would be affected and the prospect of games being postponed would increase. When the league has just landed a 5-year broadcast deal with Channel 9 worth about $575 million. And you certainly don't want any games being postponed or abandoned, do you? In the AFL, COVID-19 ripped through the Sydney Swans with up to 10 players testing positive following a boat cruise on Sydney Harbour. The cruises seem to have become a COVID hotbed. I'd be giving them a wide berth, no pun intended, I'd be giving them a wide berth for the time being, and I really would. The Swans players affected are all fully vaccinated and reported to be in good health, but they tested positive to COVID nonetheless. Now, if that happened during the season, the Swans would be struggling to field a side. Again, their respective round would be thrown into absolute chaos. You know, we need to be prepared for this, and so do the broadcasters. I mean, if teams can be this badly affected during their off-season, COVID cases could play havoc with the NRL and the AFL next season. Okay, Rod, are you there?
Yes.
What do you want to talk about, Rod?
I just want to say Merry Christmas to you and your listeners first off.
Thank you. That's very nice of you.
And I just want to share with your listeners how I cured my snoring, because I know how it affects relationships. I know with my partner, she's ended up on the lounge, or she's got up at 4 a.m. because she just can't put up with it anymore and gone home. So I've had chronic sinus for years, and I was trying to cure that and the side effect of fixing the sinus.
Have you cured your snoring?
I have.
How did you cure it?
It was called fenugreek, which I've been trying lots of different herbs that I've been reading about.
Yeah, fenugreek, I've heard of that.
Yeah, it's got antibacterial properties, so I put a tablespoon in a 500 ml jar of hot water. The next day, take it out of the fridge, and I bought a 10 ml plastic syringe from the chemist, and I was just flushing the nose out morning and night with the fenugreek. And I also read about Manuka honey, but it was the medicinal version which you get from chemists, and it's got...
yes, it's very good too, and very nice, I must say.
Yeah.
But did you check with your doctor?
No, because I've been to multiple specialists over the last 30 years. I've had an operation for the sinuses. That didn't work. For the snoring, I went back to the specialist and had injections for 6 weeks. That didn't work. Multiple sprays, medications over the years. And in Newcastle, there's a health food shop in the old age, and he lectures in alternative medicine. He told me about the fenugreek, but he told me he drinks it every day as a tea, and I thought I'll try.
Anyway, have you cured it or not?
I have. It's gone. My partner's very happy. She's commenting now, because I was a heavy breather because I couldn't breathe through my nose, and now I can breathe through my nose again, which I haven't been able to do for 30 years at least, regularly just breathing through the nose. So exercise is a lot more pleasant now.
Okay, so what was it that you believe cured the snoring?
It was the fenugreek and the Manuka honey, but I've used it on a cotton bud, so I was treating it as a bacterial infection. So I was rubbing the Manuka honey off the cotton bud up into the nostrils twice a day and flushing the nose out with fenugreek twice a day. And it was probably about a week later that the snoring had disappeared. And my partner said, "Oh, that's just wonderful." And it's been over a month now. I've continued with that, and no snoring, no heavy breathing. I can breathe through my nose again regularly, which is what I was trying to achieve. So, yeah.
Well, good on you. All good news, Rod. All good news.
Pass it on to your listeners.
Thank you. That's very nice of you to do it. I hope you have a good Christmas, and I hope you stop snoring forever. And I bet your partner does too.
2SM Traffic.
Earlier accident, Holroyd, the M4 approaching Church Street has cleared eastbound. Build up a traffic Centenary Drive approaching Arthur Street in both directions. Lilyfield Road approaching James Street. Heavy traffic but moving okay. The Anzac Bridge, a lot of traffic movement. The Princess Highway approaching Canal Road, St Peters. Build up a traffic northbound. Running out of time this Christmas. It's not too late for Woolworths delivery or direct to boot. Shop online now at woolworths.com.au. T's and C's apply. That's the latest traffic on the John Laws Morning
If you want money for anything, anywhere, call Finance Easy. Your new car, boat, caravan, motorbike, whatever you'd like, big or small, Finance Easy can find you the money. You just make one call and they do the rest. It's that easy. They can even come to you. Call the down-to-earth team at Finance Easy and tell them what you need the money for, and they'll arrange it hassle-free. If you want fast, same-day approval and rates better than the banks, call Finance Easy on their easy hotline, 1300 003 003, or visit financeeasy.com.au.
If you're looking to start a business, buying a franchise is an excellent option, and with All Group Franchises, you'll have ongoing support. The home services industry is experiencing rapid growth as people are too busy to maintain their homes. All Group Franchises offers a range of home services franchise options, including lawns and gardens, and you'll be trained in every aspect. Visit allgroupfranchises.com.au or call 0429 691 413. That's 0429 691 413.
What better gift could you give someone for Christmas than something for their pain? If you or someone you know suffers from arthritis or other aches and pains, Stiff, Sore and Sorry Pain Relief Gel is the gift that keeps on giving. Always read the label, use only as directed, and if pain persists, consult your healthcare professional. To order Stiff, Sore and Sorry online, go to the website Love Oil Collection, that's LOVEOIL collection.com.au, or phone Stiff, Sore and Sorry on 040 66 71 359.
My name's Peter Coburn. I'm from the Georgina Josephine Foundation. I was one of many people to run over a child in a driveway or a low-speed run over. We formed a foundation to try and prevent all these accidents from happening. In my case, what happened, my little girl's door was left open and she was able to get into the garage. I come home, I reversed in, and didn't realise she was there, and that's where it all went wrong.
For more info, see gjfoundation.com.au.
At Peters of Kensington, we've opened our doors to luxury shopping for more than 40 years. That's why at Peters, you'll find the biggest range of top brands, all at great prices. So whether you want to complete your home or you're looking for the perfect gift, you can trust Peters to deliver. Reward yourself with an experience. Peters of Kensington. Everything you could wish for.
This is the John Laws Morning Show. What's on your mind, Australia?
Okay, 1300 564 652. A couple of emails here. One from Jason. Morning, John. Read the gambling ads mentioned by a caller earlier. Very rarely do I watch free-to-air TV, but when I did a couple of weeks ago, watching the local news channel between 6:15 and 6:40, there were no less than 15 spots, gambling ads, with a mix of 3 different gambling companies. Pathetic and annoying. And the vast amount of costs for these commercials are obviously covered by the losses of the blind punters who throw their money away. Yeah, well, they're paying for it indirectly. Matthew, I don't understand this. What's this, Private Ryan? I didn't see that you at camouflage training this morning. Thank you, sir. What the hell's that got to do with anything? Matthew, I have no idea what you mean by that. You might need to explain it. Dear John, don't worry about your past. You can't change it. Don't worry about your future. as you can't predict it, and don't worry about your present, as I didn't get you one. Sorry, John. I do thank you for the last year and all you've done, and I wish you a Merry Christmas, and I do wish you all the best for the coming new year. Narrabeen Rod sent that. Good morning, John. Rosa and I would like to wish you and your great staff a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. I hope your Australia clock is going great. Yes, it is. After also a Merry Christmas to your friend Dale. Thank you very much, Lee and Rosa Benello. Hello, John. Yesterday a caller mentioned a documentary about country music and wasn't sure what it was called. Surprisingly enough, it's called Country Music. Well, thank you. You can watch it via the SBS On Demand app. Adam Hogan, thank you, Adam. Surprisingly enough, it's called Country Music. Thank you. Okay, Joanne, what's on your mind?
Oh, hello, John. How you doing this morning?
I'm all right, Joanne. What can I do for you?
John, I just want to speak about human behaviour. Is that okay?
You want to talk about human behaviour?
Well, yeah, but hang on. Let me just start with, I would like to say this is not a suck-up to John Laws, and I'm not brown-nosing John Laws, okay? So,
Jesus, I hate those expressions.
What I want to start with, okay? Because I just heard a caller a few days back. I think his name was Rod. And your discussion got very, let's say, hot under the collar, okay?
Heated.
Do you remember that conversation with him?
It got heated, yes, I do remember it.
Yeah, he was going on about you being, siding a bit with the Liberal Party.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, anyway, in saying that, I don't know whether he's completely right. I mean, sometimes I don't like some things you say, but that's okay. We don't have to always like. You're very good friends with Paul Keating, aren't you?
I beg your pardon?
Are you not very good friends with Paul Keating?
I am, yes. Well, I haven't seen him recently, but yes, Paul Keating and I are friends, most certainly.
He's Labor Party, hey?
Well, I'm aware of that.
Yeah, well, what I'm saying is Rod was making out that you're very much Liberal orientated.
Yes, but because I happen to be friendly with somebody who is of a political bent, it doesn't mean I vote for them.
No,
because I'm friends with Paul Keating doesn't mean I vote for the Labor Party, any more than my liking of Scott Morrison doesn't mean that I vote for the Liberal Party. It has got nothing to do with it. These are acquaintances one makes along the way. So I don't quite know what point you're trying to make, Joanne.
Oh, what? Well, I'm just trying to make the point that everybody has an opinion. So, you know, your opinion on whatever counts, and just like his opinion counts, you know, sort of thing.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
I don't know why human beings have got to get so hot under the collar.
Neither do I, my dear. I don't understand it at all.
Yeah, and to attack you for your age, this man didn't do this, somebody else did. Look, at 86, you're out there doing what you love. You get up and you go to work all the time. I give all credit to you, I think. You know, you're doing a great job. So,
well, that's very nice of you to say that, Joanne.
Well,
I love going to work. I intend to do it, and for as long as I possibly can. I love it.
yeah, and I think that's really great. So I don't think people should, you know, put
It doesn't bother me, darling.
their age or whatever. You know, I just think
it doesn't bother me, Joanne. It doesn't bother me at all.
really it doesn't bother you. You don't.
Not a single bit does it bother me. No.
Oh, well, you've got broad shoulders, haven't you? Very much.
I have, and I need them. And but I'm telling you the truth. It doesn't bother me.
Yeah. Well, that's okay. That's good for you, I think. You know, because it would bother a lot of people. You know, especially
Okay.
older people, I think.
Okay. Well, we won't. I know it does bother other people a little bit, but if it doesn't bother me, it shouldn't bother them. Should
Yeah,
it?
that's a good thing. Yeah, that's a good thing to say it like that. Yeah.
All right. Okay, Joanne. Thank you very much for the call. I'm sure you'll call again another day.
2SM Traffic.
In Narellan, Graham Hill Road, looking at heavy traffic with the COVID-19 pop-up testing clinic. Macquarie Park also, Lane Cove Road approaching Waterloo Road, COVID-19 testing clinic, northbound direction. Heavier traffic, Parramatta Road approaching Silverwater Road, all directions. Go all in on the Volkswagen model year 22 T-Cross 85 TSI Life from $30,990. Drive away. Conditions and exclusions apply. Visit Volkswagen.com.au.
Hi, Matt Welsh here. In Australia, drowning is one of the biggest killers of kids under 5. So take a few minutes to check your pool barrier set for this summer. Visit kidsafe.com.au to find out how. Because safe barriers save lives.
I could go for something sweet, maybe coconut or honeycomb, or chocolate almond.
Treat your taste buds with irresistible chocolates from the Byron Bay Chocolate Company. Try the new range. The What It Goes mix includes chocolate-covered banana and raspberry, or try the chocolate-covered honey-roasted moon macadamias, plus dark chocolate strawberry twitters, and the Drifters Pack, a mix of chocolate-covered nuts. A little family company big in chocolate supplying the world. Look for the Byron Bay Chocolate Company at quality independent outlets.
For all your home festive needs, decorations, gifts, hampers, tableware, kitchenware and Christmas trees, Peters of Kensington have it all. Go in store, 57 Anzac Parade, Kensington, and Peters Barangaroo store, ground floor, Shipwright Walk, Barangaroo, or shop online, petersofkensington.com.au. Why would you shop anywhere else?
This station endorses the Commercial Radio Code of Practice, which has been registered by the Australian Communications and Media Authority. Content on this station is regulated by the code. The code covers areas such as material not suitable for broadcast, news and current affairs, Australian music, live hosted entertainment, and the promotion of gambling during live sports. You can obtain a copy of the code by contacting this station or from the Commercial Radio Australia website, commercialradio.com.au.
People who use Arbor Vitae Joint Health to relieve their arthritis and other aches and pains are absolutely raving about it, just like Peter Wilson.
It has completely changed my life. It's like liquid gold to me. My joint pain has completely disappeared. My mobility is so much better, and the reduction in inflammation is amazing.
Always read the label, use only as directed, and if symptoms persist, see your healthcare professional. To order online or to find the location of your nearest Arbor Vitae stockist, go to Arbor Vitae, that's ARBORVITAE.com.au, or you can phone Arbor Vitae on 1300 879 863. 1300 879 863.
John Laws has Sydney talking. 2SM.
Okay, tell me what is on your mind. The New South Wales Health Minister, Brad Hazzard, whom I've told you on many occasions I think is terrific and done a terrific job. And I even think he's... yes, I do. I think he's been very, very good, very competent. He's echoed my comments from yesterday, which makes me admire him even more, slamming these so-called tourism COVID tests for placing unnecessary burdens on the health system. Now, Brad Hazzard's quite right. And again, the Queensland government is behind much of this bloody nonsense. Really, the dear Anastasia, as it stands, people intending to enter Queensland need a negative PCR test results 3 days out from arrival, and then they do they need to undergo another test several days after arriving into Queensland. You know, what a way to spend your time in Noosa, queuing up for a COVID test, especially when all of these travellers are fully vaccinated anyway. This is pure and utter madness. And it is so typical of Anastasia Palaszczuk, so typical. As we've seen, you can do all the testing you like, you can get all the negative results you want, but the minute people start moving across borders, the virus finds a way to spread. It thrives on mobility, even though the vaccines make it much harder for the virus to spread, and they certainly do. They have an effect. Now, Brad Hazzard says this tourism testing, as he is calling it, being required for entry into other states, is placing an added burden on the testing regime, and it's getting in the way of looking after actual patients, so the people who are genuinely sick are being, to a degree, ignored. the New South Wales Health Minister's right, 100% right. And what a complete and utter waste of resources. More than 250,000 people have descended on Queensland from New South Wales over the past week alone, to 250,000. Every single one of them needed a negative PCR test result before travelling. So that's all of those tests done for the sake of somebody being allowed to lounge around on a beach on the Whitsundays. You know, they're not sick, they don't have symptoms, but they're forced to line up for hours so that they can waste precious health resources, and all for the sake of satisfying Anastasia's stupid rules. This woman, this Anastasia, as I call her, because that's how you pronounce it, she does have some... What's the matter with her? What's the matter with them? Brad Hazard's a little more understanding when he says we've got to recognise that other state governments are trying to keep their communities safe too. Well, that's fine. But surely a rapid antigen test result could be enough, couldn't it? Having healthy people line up for hours to receive confirmation they're healthy, that seems a massive overreach, doesn't it? When you put it that way, it does. Anyway, it's something the Queensland government needs to change, along with Anastasia, I think. Okay, Peter, are you there?
Yes, I am.
All right, Peter, what do you want to talk about?
I'm sorry, am I on...
Peter, what do you want to talk about?
Mr. Laws, I wanted to raise with you the plight of 28,000 of Australia's most disabled, totally and permanently incapacitated veterans, and the fact that their compensation has eroded to such an extent that their economic loss in compensation only rates at approximately 61% of the minimum wage. Of your viewers, there's approximately, from what I can gather, just looking at the federal electorates, there'd be approximately 1,030 listeners just within your within the 2HD.
Yes, but we don't just broadcast on 2HD. But what is it you want to say? I don't want to run down on the listening audience because you can't work it out anyway. And when you talk about 2HD, that is just one station out of many. So what is it you want to say? Let's get to the point.
I just wanted to raise the issue about the fact that the government has, this particular government for 8 years, the totally and permanently incapacitated Federation has been prosecuting a case to try and have that compensation restored to its back to a correct level. A Senate review at the middle of the year found in favour of the claim, repudiating, the government's quite biased reviews, and so I'm seeking your support for 28,000 veterans.
Yeah, look, Peter, you're not explaining yourself very well. What is it you actually want?
We want the government to meet its obligations to restore the compensation of 28,000 totally and permanently incapacitated veterans.
Okay, but why was that removed?
It wasn't removed, it's just eroded over time.
Okay, but that had to happen, didn't it?
Sorry?
That had to happen. It had to slowly erode. That's the manner in which it was set up.
No, it didn't have to happen. It's just that because people, particularly bureaucrats, didn't have their finger on the pulse, they have a requirement, they have a KPI to maintain and enhance the legislative provisions for which they're responsible, and they failed to do that.
Okay, well, why don't you speak to them?
We have been. But
when you say we, who is we?
28,000 veterans in the Federation that represents them.
Yeah. You're a veteran, I presume?
Yes, I am. Yes, I am, sir.
I beg your pardon?
Yes, I am, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Peter, I don't know what you want me to do.
I'm just putting it out there. In fact, I'm seeking your support and that of your listeners that there's 28,000 veterans around the country, Australia's most disabled veterans, that have been treated pretty poorly by this government, and I would have to say probably a succession of governments, federal governments.
Yes, well, you know, them's the rules. I guess that those allowances are made, those financial arrangements are set up by, it wouldn't be just this government, it would be previous governments that would have been there for a while.
That's what I just,
are you receiving any compensation?
The history of governments, but this government has had 8 years and it's had all of the data put in front of it and the facts, and it's been dragging the chain big time.
Okay, well, you need to speak to the government. There's no point in speaking to me about it. Are you receiving compensation?
I receive compensation. That's the point that I'm trying to get.
Yeah, okay, but just answer the question. Are you receiving compensation?
Yes, I am, sir.
Okay, what is your disability?
I'm totally and permanently incapacitated.
I'm very sorry to hear that.
Yep. And there's another 27,999 of us that are getting a raw end of the pineapple from the Prime Minister and his apparatchiks, and it's just...
Well, tell me, why are you?
Why,
you say you're getting the rough end of the pineapple, why?
Because they've been presented with the facts that the relative value of the compensation has eroded significantly by comparison to the rest of the community, and yet they've equivocated, they've kicked the can down the road, they know it's wrong. There's the Secretary of the Department of Veterans Affairs admitted in Senate estimates in questions that were posed to her by Senator Molan that when you look at the economic loss component of the compensation, it only rated at that point. It was 63%, it's now down to less than 62%.
Yes, well, look, I have no problem with agreeing absolutely that veterans aren't treated as well as they should be, and they need more care and they probably need more money. But all you can do is talk to the government about that, because the government distributes the money.
Well, and we've been doing that, Mr. Laws, but what we're trying to do here, and the reason I'm calling is because I hope that you would support in principle. And
well, I'm certainly doing that.
Out there, and I'm not sure how broad you're listening.
I'll do anything I can to support veterans. I always have, and I always will.
Yes, I'm aware of that, and we certainly appreciate the support that you've provided in the past. In fact, I only just sort of picked up on, because I'm travelling at the moment, and so I was just lucky enough to hear you, and it's fantastic to actually hear that you're back on radio, sir. So
yeah, well, okay.
And I just hope that this government it's reneged on the promise that Prime Minister Hughes made over 100 years ago that they would provide the proper recompense if veterans got injured.
Yeah.
In war or in training. In training for war, it can be as high risk as war itself. And I know that might sound a bit strange.
No, it's not strange. It's perfectly understandable. I've got to leave you, Peter.
No worries. Thank you very much, sir, and I appreciate it. And Merry Christmas to yourself and to all your listeners.
And to you and your family. I hope you have a good Christmas, Peter. And I wish Peter well. He didn't express himself as clearly as he might have done, but we certainly understood what he's talking about, and I certainly understand what he's talking about, and I'm sympathetic, but I can't be much more than that.
Traffic update.
Macquarie Park, Lane Cove Road approaching Waterloo Road, COVID-19 testing clinic, northbound direction. Looking at heavy traffic, Parramatta Road between Woodville Road and James Bruce Drive, both directions down towards Silverwater Road. That's also in high demand at the St Heliers Road intersection at Coles Express. 'Tis a season for easy entertaining with snacks, drinks, gas bottles and ice. For easy entertaining, express yourself at Coles Express. That's the latest traffic on the John Laws Morning Show on 2SM 1269.
The new Kia Niro hybrid SUV has landed. It combines a smooth and efficient blend of petrol and electric power without the need for external charging. It's a no-compromise SUV with outstanding fuel economy, low emissions, tons of comfort, and impressive versatility. The new Kia Niro hybrid SUV, available for immediate delivery. Check with your local Kia dealer for details.
Kia,
movement that inspires.
So this is Car Sales' exclusive price indicator matrix, processing thousands of data points about cars, just like the one you want to buy. Make, model, case, you name it.
Huh, cool.
Oh look, it's telling you it's a great deal.
That's smart, but wouldn't it be easier to show a little green tag saying good price or great price next to the car?
Smart.
That way everyone will know a good thing when they see it.
Yeah, so visit carsales.com.au and look out for the green tags. Car Sales. Everything you ought to know.
When it comes to the management of pain and inflammation associated with osteo and other mild forms of arthritis, Stiff, Sore and Sorry Pain Relief Gel may assist you. Always read the label, use only as directed, and if symptoms persist, see your healthcare professional. Look for Stiff, Sore and Sorry Pain Relief Gel at pharmacies and health food stores everywhere. To find the location of your nearest Stiff, Sore and Sorry stockist, go to loveallcollection.com.au or phone Ray 0406 671 359.
At Peters of Kensington, we've opened our doors to luxury shopping for more than 40 years. That's why at Peters, you'll find the biggest range of top brands, all at great prices. So whether you want to complete your home or you're looking for the perfect gift, you can trust Peters to deliver. Reward yourself with an experience. Peters of Kensington. Everything you could wish for.
All the news and the views. 2SM has Sydney talking.
What's on your mind, Australia? Give us a call. Tell us all about it.
13 12 69 2smsupernetwork.com for your emails.
Good morning, mate. How are you, mate?
All right, thank you. What's on your mind, bud?
13 12 69. That'll open my number to come aboard. Have your say today.
All the news and the views. 2SM has Sydney talking. 2SM 1269 AM, 2SM Digital, and online at 2smsupernetwork.com.
All right, 1300 564 652. Matthew, are you there?
Yes, good morning, Mr. Laws. You read out a joke of mine earlier, which you said that you didn't get and you wanted me to explain.
Yes, I know, and wasn't I stupid? I mean, it's so obvious when I look at it again. It's so obvious. It's a clever joke when I look at it again, but it was too clever for me. That was the problem, Matthew. The joke was smarter than I am.
He's obviously very good at camouflage, Mr. Laws. That's all I wanted to say.
Yes, well, it's very good. Private Ryan, I didn't see you at camouflage training this morning. Thank you, sir. It's very funny. It's very clever too. Good camouflage, huh?
Well, I hope that sort of lightened up the day a bit with all this COVID going around, and just want to wish you a Merry Christmas, and to all your staff there a very Merry Christmas.
That's very nice of you, Matthew. To you, exactly the same thing, and I hope we can talk to each other next year.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Laws.
Thank you, Matthew. What a nice fellow you are, and that's a funny joke. It's a clever joke. Private Ryan, I didn't see you at camouflage training this morning. Thank you, sir. 1300 564 652. Kay, are you there?
Hello, John. How are you?
I'm okay, Kay. How are you?
Yeah, no, I'm well, thanks. I just was a bit late getting to the show yesterday. I just caught the tail end. You were talking about George Jones.
Yes.
Well, I'm, huge fan of George Jones. And, I'll tell you something a little bit funny about him. He was married to Tammy Wynette. Did you know that?
I did know that, yes. He was married to Tammy Wynette, yeah.
Yeah, and apparently I was reading about him one time, he didn't mind the odd drink or two, old George, and so this particular time she took the car keys and hid them to stop him going to the pub, and so that didn't defeat him. He got on the ride on mower and went to the hotel.
Yeah, I read about that. He's a wild boy, George Jones.
Wild boy, yeah, and just on that subject, just as a favour, a special favour for Christmas, I know you don't do requests and things, but have you heard the song of George's Radio Lover?
No, I haven't.
Oh, it's a beautiful song, and if you get time, will you have a look for it?
Well, I'll get somebody to have a look for it. I can't do it while I'm doing the program, but I'll get...
No, I know that, but put it...
Yeah, I'll see what I can do for you, Kay, my dear.
And also, okay, then we'll have a nice break and look after those golden tonsils.
Thank you.
We want to hear you again in the new year, John.
Well, I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful Christmas. And about the new year, I don't know. It's pretty... It's a bit up to other people as much as it's up to me, so I don't know.
Yeah, well, we'll see what happens.
We can only do that.
We can only do that, John. Okay.
All right, Kay, thank you. 1300 564 652. It's up to Bill as much as it's up to me. Really, I haven't thought a great deal about it, frankly. If you would, I'm happy to come back and work on my terms. 1300 564 652 is the telephone number that you dial. I hate that click. Gabby, are you there? You there, Gabby? No, she ain't there. All right, 1300 564 652 is the telephone number that you dial. If you'd like to give us a call and tell us what's on your mind, you've simply got to pick up the phone and dial the number. Thousands of Australians are flocking to Queensland, and for many, one of the great attractions remains the Great Barrier Reef, of course. And there is renewed hope that predictions of the death of the reef have been greatly exaggerated. A very intense and international travel slowly ramps up again, and it is ramping up again, interstate and international travel on the move. The potential renewal of the reef would ensure it remains a huge tourism drawcard. There's been a lot of debate within UNESCO's World Heritage Committee as to the status of the Great Barrier Reef and whether it should be formally declared to be in danger. Negative talk about the state of the reef is a pretty bitter blow, not just to Australia's environmental credentials, but also for the many tourism operators and businesses that rely on this natural wonder for their livelihoods, and a lot of people do. The state of the reef has become collateral damage in the broader debate over the impact of climate change, and too often people rush to demonise the state of the reef in a bid to advance their own arguments on climate change. And that's annoying it, really annoying us. But there have been very promising signs of renewal, and this was highlighted earlier this year. A survey of the reef conducted by the Commonwealth's chief independent marine science agency has indicated that the Great Barrier Reef is showing signs of recovery, with some of the best coral coverage recorded in recent years. So what do all the doom boosters say to that? Huh? The Australian Institute of Maritime Science Assessment has found that minimal impact from last year's coral bleaching and increases in hard coral across 85% of the reef surveyed year on year. The results and findings are starkly at odds with some of the predictable doom and gloom tales that we hear about the state of the Barrier Reef. And this is not the result of some overnight inside job. This is the nation's chief independent marine science agency giving this news, which is good. It's been monitoring the condition of the reef since 1985, and it reports that there is some encouraging news in this report, and other Goodyear would continue the recovery process. Coral reefs are living organisms. They're alive. And they'll have good and bad years, just like so many other, like you and me. I mean, it would seem the demise of the Great Barrier Reef has been greatly exaggerated, and the thousands of tourists who've returned to the Sunshine State in the past week may well get a chance to see that recovery for themselves. I hope they do, and I hope they enjoy it. I'm sure they will. Okay, Helen, are you there?
Oh, yes. Good morning, Mr. Laws.
Good morning, Helen. How are you?
I've just been hearing all your listeners for the last week saying how some of them are very long-time listeners. So I would just like to share you my thoughts on how I became a long-time listener with you.
All right. Well, you tell me.
In 1969, I married a young farmer and went to live on his property, which had a little cottage on it, which was more or less in a little valley, and couldn't get any reception at all. Telephone was exceptionally hard, but radio non-existent. So my wonderful late husband took the radio aerial and hooked it up to the phone line, which was just outside the cottage. And that phone line ran for 7 kilometres on our property. In those days you had to maintain your own line until it got to the boundary. So he hooked it up to that, and for 44 years I had perfect coverage of John Laws.
Well, that was wonderful. Hey, but what a smart husband.
He was an ingenious husband. It was to keep me happy, I think, because then you're having babies and can't get out and you're listening. And I followed you through all those years. And I'd just like to reflect on when there weren't the services there are today for those in crisis. And I remember callers used to ring you in greatly distressed, and you would keep them on hold until those services you contacted became available to help them. And that's what I will never forget, your compassionate care for those who are in need. Today we have, the disability services, mental health services, but back then there was nothing for those people, and you reached out to them. And for that I thank you. And I've also noticed over the years how the command of the English language has deteriorated so badly. I don't know what's happened with English in schools.
Neither do I. I don't. And the same thing with history. I don't know. I don't think they're teaching history as they should either. But as far as the English language is concerned, it's a wonderful language. It's a very complex language, according to other people who don't speak it. It's difficult to learn English, but we're lucky we were brought up with it, and we should make the most of the fact that it is one, and it is probably it's a universal language virtually now.
Yes, I just noticed my grandchildren with their dones and their nevers, and, they can't put an adjective onto a verb, and they're just basic, things which we learnt back in the 60s. And it saddens me that they just seem to go with the flow and express themselves without regard to spelling correctly.
Yes, well, I think sadly a lot of that boils down to the fact that the teachers aren't as committed. I'm going to be in trouble for saying it. I don't think that many teachers are as committed as they perhaps were in your day or my day. I just don't think that there is that commitment there. And I think that's a bit of a pity.
I've got grandchildren, but my daughters, the people they went to school with, they were unable to speak correctly then. So what hope is there for the kids studying English from them?
Well, exactly. If they can't do it,
yes.
How can they pass on the information to another as how you do it?
Yes. However, I just wanted to reflect on those things. I've gone through with good times and bad times. And I just wish you and all your family the peace and blessings of Christmas. And thank you. And please, please come back.
Okay. All right, Helen. I hope you have a wonderful Christmas, and I hope you have plenty of love around you. I'm sure you will.
Thank you very much, Mr. Laws. Bye-bye.
Bye, Helen. Bye. Okay, 1300 564 652 if you would like to give us a call and tell us what's on your mind. Pick up the phone and dial the number. Lisa, are you there?
Yes, I am indeed.
Okay, Lisa, what do you want to talk about?
John, I'm a regular caller, and I had the pleasure in meeting you in Hong Kong at the Peninsula years ago when I was having radiation, and we sung together 6 Ribbons, and I'm from Mission Beach, the most beautiful part of the world.
Yeah, wonderful.
Yes. Do you remember me?
Yeah, you met me in the Peninsula.
Yes, correct.
I was in the lounge downstairs having a drink.
You were in a wheelchair. You'd slipped, and I was as bald as a badger, and we chatted, and it was such a pleasure to have met you.
Well,
years ago.
That's quite, and I do remember all that.
Yes.
That's after I'd been in St. Petersburg. I broke my foot in St. Petersburg on an icy step. So you're right. That was Hong Kong, and that lovely hotel. I hope it's still lovely, given the changes in Hong Kong. It mightn't be what it was. That Peninsula Hotel, beautiful hotel, wasn't it?
Absolutely. I think the good days have gone now. So.
Sadly, I think you're right, Lisa.
Yes, we have to remember those days. But I'm here in Mission Beach now, looking out on a stunning day. And I told this joke to my neighbours when we were having Christmas cheer last night, and they said, you've got to ring John and tell him this joke.
All right. Okay, I'm ready.
Okay, and I hope you get it. I won't have to explain it. No, I'm kidding. All right, so there's 3 fellows, an Englishman, an Aussie, and an Irishman, and they want to get into heaven for Christmas. So Peter's there, and he says, well, you have to bring something Christmassy. So the Englishman says, well, could bring a candle, but I've got a torch, I've got light. And so Peter says, righto, yeah, that's Christmassy, in you come. And so the Aussie says, I've got my Kingswood keys, there's jingle bells. And so he says, righto, yep, here you come. And then there's Paddy, and Peter says, well, what have you bought Christmas in? He said, well, I've got a bra and a G-string. And
What?
Peter says, what on earth has that got to do with Christmas? And Paddy says, they're carols. You love my own joke. The carols, Jim.
I like that.
And for all those Irishmen out there, they've still got it.
Yeah, they still got it. Well, Lisa, you're a lovely character. Thank you for making me happy.
Thank you. And I'm so happy. When I was 40, when I met you, I'm now 50, and I'm still doing treatment here in North Queensland in Cairns. And life couldn't be better because life is for the living. And I've been dealing with metastatic cancer now for 10 years, and I feel like an ever-ready battery. I'm not ready to go into that ground yet. So,
How does that cancer affect you? Could I ask you that question?
It's very hard to deal with, but each day when I wake up, it's just the best thing to know that you can wake up and just love to feel the earth under your feet and to breathe in the fresh air up here in North Queensland. It's the best place to live.
Well, you sound like a pretty positive person, Lisa.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, darling, and I wish you luck, and I hope we talk together. Maybe we will in the new year, but have a wonderful time, and do take care of yourself, and I'm happy that you sound so good.
Traffic update.
Chippendale City Road, Broadway, a northbound accident. We've got a high volume of traffic. Liverpool, the Hume Highway approaching Elizabeth Drive, northbound direction. High volume of traffic, Henry Lawson Drive through Georges Hall at Hague Avenue, both directions. Shop on Amazon.com.au as late as December 23rd in select metro areas and get your packages by Christmas with Amazon Prime. Only on select Prime eligible products. Always confirm estimated delivery date at checkout. Membership fees apply. That's the latest traffic on the John Lewis Morning Show.
Arthritis. No more bloody pain. Use Arthrobalm. Judy, how long have we been telling them?
About 10 years, love. Suffering pain? Then let's become serious. Use Arthrobalm. It works.
Grab your bonus offer today, exclusive to Bloom's Chemist. Buy one, get one free. That's right. Buy one, get one free. Or buy direct. 1300 883 869. 1300 883 869.
With more and more people preferring to shop online these days, a new website from List Designs will help you harness these potential customers. List Designs will create a website for your business that's affordable, functional, and looks fantastic. Mention 2SM and get an HTML or WordPress 10-page website tailor-made for your specific requirements from just $600. Go to listdesigns.com.au or call List Designs on 0422 356 850.
If you're looking to start a business, buying a franchise is an excellent option. And with All Group Franchises, you'll have ongoing support. The home services industry is experiencing rapid growth as people are too busy to maintain their homes. All Group Franchises offers a range of home services franchise options, including lawns and gardens, and you'll be trained in every aspect. Visit allgroupfranchises.com.au or call 0429 691 413. That's 0429 691 413.
There's lots of kids who can't get swimming lessons at the moment. I know! How can they learn about water safety? Children can learn through play and exploration, but always under supervision. And don't forget our free online resources. There are songs, dances, puppet shows, stories, and more.
Good morning, I'm Diane Coveney-Garland. New South Wales has reported 3,763 new COVID-19 cases in the latest testing period, while 2 people died from the virus in New South Wales in the last 24 hours. Meantime, the queues at COVID testing sites are getting longer as Christmas approaches. Some people have had to line up in New South Wales for hours to be swabbed. Shadow New South Wales Health Minister Ryan Park says it's not good enough.
The government's asking people to go
go and get tested. They are doing that, but the government needs to hold up its end of the bargain and make sure there's adequate and sufficient testing facilities available right across New South Wales.
A man's expected to be charged after being arrested over an alleged money laundering scheme. Detectives uncovered a syndicate using cash to fund the purchase of investment properties and the operating costs of other associated businesses. Police raided 2 properties in Pyrmont and Barangaroo in Sydney's inner suburbs this morning. They seized cocaine, cash and documentation and arrested a 34-year-old man in Pyrmont. More funding has been allocated to a program which links farmers with industry professionals. The Future Drought Fund Drought Resilience Leaders Mentoring Program is now on to round 2. Federal Agriculture Minister David Littleproud has told Sky it's a great initiative.
This is part of the $5 billion Future Fund, Drought Future Fund. $100 million gets spent every year as a dividend out of this, and not from my decision making, but from farmers' decisions. We've gone out, consulted, and there's been a lot of programs in monetary sense that we put out there, but this is one that's around empowering our farmers and our leaders in these regional communities to mentor those that are emerging.
Police have arrested a man and woman wanted over alleged drug importation offences. A strike force was set up to investigate the movement of cocaine from the UK to northern New South Wales. Detectives have seized nearly 1.1 kilograms of cocaine, worth more than $300,000 since September. The 33-year-old man and 31-year-old woman were arrested in Barker's Vale yesterday morning. They've both been charged with multiple drug offences and refused bail to face Byron Bay Local Court. A man accused of stabbing to death a British lawmaker, David Amos, in October has pleaded not guilty. The 25-year-old attacked the father of 5 in a church where he was meeting with voters. The younger man was charged with murder and preparing acts of terrorism, but pleaded not guilty on both counts. He'll face trial in March next year. Detectives have charged a third man following raids in Sydney's southwest. A strike force was set up in August to investigate the manufacture and supply of prohibited drugs across the region. Police raided a Bankstown unit on December 1, where they seized more than $3 million worth of cash and steroids. A short time later, officers found a clandestine drug lab and 2,000 litres of GBL. 2 men aged in their 40s were arrested and charged. A 37-year-old was arrested in Greenacre yesterday morning. He's now been charged with drugs offences and refused bail to face court in February. And in Spain, 2 men have been arrested after trying to raffle off a Christmas hamper full of drugs. Officers raided a drug den and found the much sought-after prizes. The men were in the process of selling tickets in the raffle, with prizes including cocaine, cannabis, alcohol and a Christmas ham. In sport, England head coach Chris Silverwood says he's the right person for the job. That's despite England losing the first 2 Ashes tests to Australia. But Silverwood admits there's no room for complacency. He says his position is always in danger. The Sydney Sixers downed the Adelaide Strikers by 4 wickets overnight. Dan Christian starred for the Sixers with a stunning catch, with Jordan Silk top scoring with 36. The Melbourne Renegades and Perth Scorchers will clash tonight. The Matildas have secured $1.9 million in government funding ahead of the Paris Olympics. The team will receive a cash injection, with more money on top of that to support the Matildas Women's World Cup campaign. Sydney FC will play the Brisbane Roar tonight in the FFA Cup. The Central Coast Mariners downed APIA Leichhardt 6-0 to secure a spot in the FFA Cup semi-finals last night. In finance, the All Ordinaries is up 1 point at 7,668. 1 Australian dollar is buying 71.48 US cents. This is Super Network News. With the chance of showers and the late thunderstorm
Kings
and
Park
light
M7
winds
approaching
becoming
round 1.
southeastern.
Give a gift
They're heading
Kings
for
Park
top
M7.
temperatures. And Christmas Day. At the moment in the city it's 25 degrees, 25 at Bankstown, 25 at Richmond. That's the latest 2SM News. I'm Diane Coveney Garland. Now the John Laws Morning Show on 2SM.
Okay, into the final hour of the John Laws Morning Show. If you'd like to give us a call, now would be a good time to do it. 1300 56 4652. Former Parramatta Eel star Michael Jennings has been ordered to pay his ex-wife nearly $500,000 in damages and will also have to pay her legal fees. His ex-wife, Kira Wilden, told the New South Wales District Court that Mr. Jennings had verbally abused her during their marriage. She also alleged that she'd been raped by him on 5 or 6 occasions from 2014 to 2016 before their separation, and had developed PTSD as a result of the abuse. Now, apparently, he was a very heavy drinker, and he was also a cocaine abuser, stupid, and would at times engage in unsolicited intercourse with his ex-wife while he was under the influence. Supposedly, her PTSD diagnosis was so severe that she had developed nightmares and dramatic flashbacks of the abuse, which would prevent her from engaging in intimate relations with subsequent partners. Now, the disgraced star was banned from the NRL for 3 years after he tested positive to using performance-enhancing drugs last year. Mr. Jennings has since denied the sexual assault allegations and that his wife didn't develop PTSD from his conduct. At the moment, no complaint has been filed with the police and no charges have been laid over the alleged abuse, but in court, Judge David Wilson referred to the matter to the police for further investigation with the consideration of criminal prosecution. The judge also said that Mr. Jennings' denial over the assault allegations in the balance of probabilities were either a result of his heavy drug intoxication or that the evidence he gave in court was dishonest. Take your pick, I'd reckon. The allegations are obviously very severe, and it's devastating for the ex-wife if these allegations are true. It's horrible. But unless he's charged over a criminal offence, there's not much else the court can do about the case besides granting the ex-wife financial compensation, and I think they more than likely will do that. Okay, tell me what is on your mind. 1300 564 652 is the number that you dial. Pick up the phone and dial it. Who's there? Kathy, are you there?
Thank you very much, John, for allowing me to talk to you.
Well, Kathy, you're very welcome to talk to me.
You said a little while ago that you would like Jesus to be at your side for Christmas. And, John, he will be.
Oh.
So will the princess. And my wish to you for Christmas is, I know you are loved by all Australians, and, of course, especially the people that know you well there, that surround you where you are. And, of course, your family love you very much. So I wish that you will be surrounded by your children and grandchildren and comforted by them for Christmas, especially for Christmas and always. Also, John, something very important that I missed out on telling you last time you spoke with me, and what it was, I'm the one that was asking a special request to the Lord on your behalf. And you asked me, I don't know whether you said how to pray, and I said you pray and you say easy prayers. But I didn't say it all. From my experience, John, I was praying wherever I would be, maybe short prayers. And why my interest in getting you before Christmas is so you're going to have some free time, so you've got more free time in your mind. For example, even when you sit outside in your garden, if you could just look at the sky and talk to God as you talk to us, and I used to say simple prayers, which were the Our Father, the Hail Mary, the Glory be to the Father, and so on, even the Angel of God. And if you have problems remembering them, maybe ask the Mother Superior. She probably will know them. And but you have to do it all the time, often enough. No one needs to know what you are doing in your own mind. For example, you could be also in the car waiting for the Mother Superior to join you, or even in the office. Just say those prayers. Make an effort, John, and what you get in return, money cannot buy. Okay, so I got my wish, and if you want, I'll repeat it. But before I go,
I would also like to say that this morning has only been the positive thing that you have said in reference to you coming back to us. John, very many of us, we can't live without you. And this time that you're away won't be the same without you. But of course, I wish you well, to have a good rest and to come back to us feeling much stronger, John. But if I could say in a joking way that if you ever decide to leave us, John, we're going to come to your home, as I said, without you. And, John, it won't be difficult. You know, there's only about 20 million that listen to you. We could take turns. And the Mother Superior can be in charge of the queue. All right? So, all the best. I love you. And thank you for the love, warmth, and comforting words that you give us all throughout the year. John, and please, I repeat, those prayers are important, John. Believe me, it takes away the fear of death, John, because it's giving you proof that really you can be praying in your own mind and someone else that you can't see can hear us. It's amazing, John. Can I just remind you what happened to me?
Go on.
John?
Yes, go on.
Thank you. John, I had a very, very sick husband who was suffering tremendously. So I was looking after him, and I was just about out of my mind seeing him suffer to the extent. And I've always prayed during my life, always. But of course, now I was praying much harder, and nothing was changing. So in a desperate way, which is shameful of me, I would say, are my prayers ending up in vain? I mean, is this all a make-believe that there is a God and we can't see him? This is shameful for a person who has faith to think this way. And John, then, after so many prayers, I would say, please, God, give me a sign so that I know that you are listening to me and that you will help us. But this went on for a very long time, as I say.
Okay, now, Kathy, dear, we're going to run out of time here, speaking of time.
John, what happened, John, and I also requested that the sign would be given to my husband and not me, because he was practically a non-believer. And John, it happened in his dream, in the form of a dream. He dreamed this man. I'll tell you what he said, John, and in the end he introduced himself as the angel Gabriel, and now I have a special request always to the angel Gabriel.
Well, that's lovely. Now, Kathy, I do have to go,
yes,
because there's a lot of other people waiting, but I hope you have a happy Christmas, and I hope you have a lovely, lovely New Year.
SM traffic.
Villawood, Hugh Motorway, Henry Lawson Drive, a truck breakdown westbound lane 4, Eastwood, Rutledge Road, Darville Road, 2-car accident at westbound, and City Road Broadway, the earlier accident still affecting northbound traffic through Chippendale. All clear. Eastern Creek through the Lighthouse Interchange. Shop on Amazon.com.au as late as December 23rd in select metro areas and get your packages by Christmas with Amazon Prime. Only on select Prime eligible products. Always confirm estimated delivery date. At checkout, membership fees apply.
Give a gift that everyone will love with Byron Bay Chocolate Company, Australia's finest chocolate-coated fruit, nuts, honeycomb and more. Try the new range. The What It Goes mix includes chocolate-covered banana and raspberry, or try the chocolate-covered honey-roasted moon macadamias, plus dark chocolate freeze-dried strawberry twitters and the Drifters Pack, a mix of chocolate-covered nuts. A little family company, big in chocolate, supplying the world. Look for the Byron Bay Chocolate Company at quality independent outlets.
Do you suffer from mild arthritis, osteo and other aches and pains? With its natural organic ingredients, Stiff Sore and Sorry Pain Relief Gel might assist you. Always read the label, use only as directed, and if symptoms persist, see your healthcare professional. Look for Stiff Sore and Sorry Pain Relief Gel at pharmacies and health food stores everywhere. To find the location of your nearest Stiff Sore and Sorry stockers, go to loveoilcollection.com.au. Or phone Ray on 040 66 71 359.
My name's Peter Coburn.
I'm from the Georgina Josephine Foundation. I was one of many people to run over a child in a driveway or a low-speed run over. We formed a foundation to try and prevent all these accidents from happening. In my case, what happened, my little girl's door was left open and she was able to get into the garage. I come home, I reversed in and didn't realise she was there, and that's where it all went wrong.
For more info, see gjfoundation.com.au.
Peters of Kensington is online. Shop all the top brands at great prices with the same excellent in-store service. They sell great cookware brands like Scanpan, Chasseur, KitchenAid, Breville and Smeg, as well as Riddell glassware, Wedgwood dinnerware and much more. Peters also stock a beautiful range of home decor, lamps, rugs, furniture, cushions and Manchester. And they even have Afterpay. Visit petersofkensington.com.au. Why would you shop anywhere else?
When repeated millions of times, small actions can have a big impact. Picking up litter, cycling to work, and recycling printer cartridges. By recycling with cartridges for Planet Ark, Aussies have saved 49 million printer cartridges from landfill. That's an estimated 20,000 tonnes of carbon emissions. We want you to help us hit 50 million. To find out more, search cartridges for Planet Ark.
John Laws has Sydney talking. 2SM.
Okay, 1300 564 652. Telephone number. Greg, are you there?
G'day, John. How are you, mate?
I'm all right, Greg. What can I do for you?
I'd like to talk about the cricket.
Yep, okay, go ahead. Talk about the cricket. What do you want to say about it?
Well, I'm back in England, back to win the Ashes.
I'm sorry, your phone is distorting. It was last time you talked to me too, I think. Maybe don't speak so loud. Just back off a little bit.
I'm back in England to win the Ashes, but I might be struggling in the third test.
Yeah, well, maybe a little bit. Maybe a little bit. But what is it you want to say to me, Greg?
Just about the cricket, John, you know.
Yep, what about it?
Well, I think Australia will wrap it up in the third test.
Well, I hope you're right.
Yeah, but I'm back in England, but even though I'm a true Aussie, but, I'm just back in England.
Okay, well, that's good. So am I. But, Greg, we just can't talk to each other about what's going on. You need to have a reason to ring, not just to have a chat, even though I enjoy having a chat to you, and I'm happy to talk about the cricket. But what in particular about the cricket? There must be one particular point you wanted to make. So maybe you could ring back and make that particular point, and we'll be able to get on much better. Yeah, but a lot of people just ring for a chat. And that's nice. I'm glad that you want to have a chat to me, but it's sometimes not all that entertaining for the rest of the people. The Australian Electoral Commission is taking Liberal MP Andrew Laming, taking him to court for failing to declare whether a Facebook page was authorised by him, which appeared to be operating under the guise of some kind of community group. Now, the election watchdog is launching action after 5 social media posts Dr. Laming made online in the lead up to the last election. One of the sites he was operating, known as Redland Hospital, Let's Fight for Fair Funding, that was set up in an attempt to campaign against the Labor Party. Now, in the Facebook page, he didn't include anything about his party's branding or his authorisation over the post that he made, which is against the AEC's disclosure regulations. The AEC is the Australian Electoral Commission. It's the first time that the election watchdog authorisation requirement over a social media is going to be brought to court. But Dr. Laming has retaliated. He said that the community pages he ran online were created before the laws came into effect in 2018. The civic penalties costs are expected to reach about $25,000 over that breach. That's a lot of money, $25,000. The Brisbane-based MP has faced a lot of criticism over the matter and decided to not contest the next election after he lost his pre-selection in April this year. But the Facebook page scandal isn't the only thing that's put him under the spotlight. He asked for it, this fella. He withdrew an apology to 2 Brisbane women in October this year who accused him of making hurtful comments online by saying that he didn't think that they were genuinely upset. The Prime Minister, Scott Morrison, ordered Dr Laming into empathy training, most likely because of insensitive statements before Dr Laming returned from his personal leave. Now, Dr Laming later said that he blamed his irrational behaviour on his ADHD diagnosis, but it wasn't enough to salvage the Brisbane-based MP, and he's ultimately made the decision to step away from politics. Thank God for that. It's going to be very intriguing to see how the situation unfolds, but there's not much else he can really do to clear his name. It's just a mess. And he blamed his... I mean, if you're suffering from ADHD, are you competent to be in Parliament if you suffer from that sort of complaint? I don't know. I don't know enough about ADHD, but it sounds to me as though obviously it causes concern, and apparently to a great degree. 1300 564 652. Who have we got there? Gary, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Okay, Gary, what do you want to talk about? Gary?
I'm sorry. I'm from Newcastle, John, and I heard you talking about all the gloom that's been going on in regard to the Great Barrier Reef, and I just thought that there's a lot of talk around Newcastle about, well, some of these greenies are going to close the coal. I was just at Merewether the other day, which is a suburb of Newcastle.
I know Merewether well, yeah.
I know you know Newcastle very well, John, but out there's about 5 ships waiting to come in and collect the coal, and across the world, I've never gone round to count them myself, but there's been reports between 600 and 800 coal-fired stations across the world. Well, I'd like to know who's going to supply that coal if Newcastle or the Hunter and the parts of Queensland doesn't do the job.
Well, I suppose it'll come from another country like Canada. They'll find some way to get it. But I think you might be a bit early with your concern, Gary. I don't know that it's quite reached that stage yet. But there is a lot of doom and gloom about the Great Barrier Reef and other things. Yeah, you're right. Yeah,
well, it's just that's all you hear, and each day I see the Newcastle Herald. It prints who goes out of the harbour. There's 7 big of those coal carriers go out every day, 365 days a year, and there's 143 tonnes in those. So multiply that by a couple of $100 a tonne. There's quite a bit of money going out of the place, apart from the 65,000 people directly and indirectly that are employed in the coal.
Okay, but you must understand if it's going out to be sold, the money will be coming back, won't it, one way or another?
Yeah, that's right. Anyhow, I just thought I congratulate you. All we hear on the TV is counting up how many people have died or are about to die, and I think it's refreshing. I enjoy that little joke about the camouflage, and it's been always a good to listen to you, John. All the best.
Thank you. That's very nice of you, Gary, and I hope you call me again next year.
Thank you very much, John. Cheerio.
Okay, bye-bye. 1300 564 652, our telephone number. If you would like to talk to us, by all means, pick up the phone and dial the number. I got stabbing pains in my chest. I'm sorry, but when I move, Jesus, I don't know what it is, but it really hurts. Sorry about that. Don't joke. 1300 564 652. Well, the Prime Minister's religious discrimination bill is a joke. Speaking of them, and regardless of which side of the debate you're on, it's a failure. If you're religious and you want the bill to be passed, it apparently doesn't go far enough, and if you're against the bill, apparently it goes too far. It was an undelivered election promise which was rushed together at the last minute, and as a result, it was passed through Parliament as Scott Morrison would have liked. Now, several moderate Liberal have refused to support the bill until it was scrutinised by 2 parliamentary committees over the summer out of fear that it would allow faith-based students to be discriminated against. Now, opponents and gay rights advocates have taken the issue with the fact that under the new laws, gay teachers could be fired and gay students could be suspended. The Federal Parliament's Joint Committee yesterday heard a range of hypothetical scenarios that could result from the bill if it's passed. Among the scenarios was whether a teacher could be fired if they got divorced or if they entered a same-sex relationship, to which the answer was yes for both. How are they going to know? And what business is it of anybody else if they decide to get a divorce or if they have entered a same-sex relationship? What the hell's that got to do with anybody else? You know, I really would like to know how a person's marital status affects their ability to teach. And if these schools are going to begin firing and not hiring divorcees, they're going to lose about 50% of the workforce, aren't they? I can fully understand if a Christian school wants to have a right to deny employment to a person who isn't a Christian, but that's where it should end, really. The school shouldn't be allowed to delve into a person's personal marital status or sexuality. And under no circumstances should they be allowed to discriminate against a student based on their sexuality. You know, one Christian's interpretation of the Bible with regard to sexuality and marital statement could be very different to another's. All religions are all about how you interpret them. For a school, all that should matter is whether an employee follows a certain faith and follows a certain rule when it comes to the teaching of our children. What I find quite remarkable is the fact that if you're a paedophile teacher, you're moved around and you're protected by the Catholic Church. Yet if you're a divorcee or if you're gay, you're fired. Oh, that dear, dear, dear Catholic Church. 1300 564 652 is our telephone number if you would like to give us a call and tell us what's on your mind. 1300 564 652. Who is there? Gino, are you there? Gino didn't wait. Gino ain't there. What a pity. Let's see if Ross is there. Maybe he is. Ross, are you there?
Yes, John. Good morning. Recently I listened to Trevor White sing I Only Want to Say from Jesus Christ Superstar Rock Opera.
Yeah.
I thought good voice, good enunciation, and I played it several times. I got it on an iPhone. It's also, I think you can get it through your computer. I just wanted to share it with you, mate.
All right, well, you've shared it with me. That was very nice of you, Ross.
My pleasure, and all the best for Christmas and that pain in the chest you get from the course that will get better soon and certainly come back next year.
All right, mate. Okay, Ross, thank you very much for the call.
I thank you, John, very much. Bye.
Bye.
Traffic update.
Available with the Hume Motorway, Henry Lawson Drive, a truck breakdown westbound lane 4. Eastwood, Rutledge Street, Darville Road, 2-car accident westbound direction. Chippendale City Road, Broadway, northbound accident. This is impacting traffic there. Allow extra travel time. Take your gaming to the next level with a Dell G15 gaming laptop featuring an Intel Core processor for superior performance. Shop Dell Gaming in-store and online at The Good Guys. That's the latest traffic on the John Laws Morning
When
Show.
repeated millions of times, small actions can have a big impact. Picking up litter, cycling to work, and recycling printer cartridges. By recycling with cartridges for Planet Ark, Aussies have saved 49 million printer cartridges from landfill. That's an estimated 20,000 tonnes of carbon emissions. We want you to help us hit 50 million. To find out more, search cartridges for Planet Ark.
Do you experience discomfort from varicose veins? Maybe you get leg or ankle swelling, heaviness, fatigue, leg pain, aching or cramping. If so, you may be suffering from chronic venous insufficiency. Nearly 25% of adults are affected with venous reflux disease, with only 17% of people being diagnosed and only 1% receiving treatment. So if you're having trouble with varicose veins, ask your doctor about treatment options and see if the radiofrequency ablation procedure could be right for you. A message from Medtronic.
Brett Camoy here for Gallagher Insurance Brokers. In my footy days, I had a massive support team on and off the field. If things didn't go our way, we had each other's backs on the next play. You need that support in business too. With Gallagher Insurance Brokers behind you, your business is always ready for whatever comes. More than 100,000 businesses around Australia trust Gallagher. That's 100,000 small, medium and large businesses facing their future with confidence. Gallagher, the official insurance broker of the NRL. Visit ajg.com.au or head into your local branch.
When you add your car to the car sales garage, you'll own more than just your car. You'll own the right moment to sell, now and in the future, getting real-time demand and price comparisons for your vehicle straight to your inbox. And fuel prices? You'll own the fuel pump with discounts, get exclusive offers, and even own when to change your tyres. So sign up today and own everything you ought to know about your car with Car Sales for Owners.
For the management of pain and inflammation associated with osteo and other mild forms of arthritis, Stiff Sore and Sorry Pain Relief Gel is something that may assist you. Always read the label, use only as directed, and if symptoms persist, see your healthcare professional. Look for Stiff Sore and Sorry Pain Relief Gel at pharmacies and health food stores everywhere. To find the location of your nearest Stiff Sore and Sorry stockist, go to loveoilcollection.com.au or phone Ray on 040 66 71 359.
2SM 1269 AM, 2SM Digital, and online at 2smsupernetwork.com.
The John Laws Show. The week went that
way. It was the most extraordinary weather event I think I've ever seen. We were here at home. Suddenly, the wind started to pick up, and I'm not kidding, in a matter of seconds, it went from just a strong wind to the most ferocious wind I have ever seen. The ferocity of it was just extraordinary. We realised that there was debris smashing into our balcony. We were on the first floor, so we had a bit of a view of what was happening around us. We're bordered by a row of Norfolk pines where we are here on the northern beaches.
Yeah.
One of them, the wind was so strong, snapped in two. I mean, the width of this trunk is extraordinary. Further up the road, where sadly, I heard you mention that the woman died, where the woman died and the other two people were injured, the tree came right out of the ground. It just snapped off at the ground. Again, another huge trunk. That was indicative of just how strong these winds were. It was so frightening. So we shut our doors to the balcony. My husband grabbed my hand and said, let's get out of here because I think one of those trees is going to hit our place. That's how frightening it was. It was just extraordinary and lasted just minutes. It wasn't even that long.
And a tree didn't hit your place?
It didn't. We're really lucky. We had a lot of mess and debris, and outside fences have been smashed. The tree that came down onto our neighbour's backyard, so it smashed her fence and now is lying in her yard, I think waiting for the SEF to come and saw it into bits and take it away. But aside from branches lying everywhere and smashing pots and fences being damaged, we sort of emerged unscathed. Thank goodness, because I see these poor people in Dee Why who lost roofs. I mean, there's a photo today, you might have seen it, of a man who's standing in his lounge room looking at the bare sky. That's just how strong it was. It was just amazing. I've never seen anything like it, John.
That's got to be terrifying. I mean, it doesn't matter how strong or how experienced you are at weathering storms. That's got to be terrifying.
I was really terrified. I think primarily because it came out of nowhere. It was a few drops of rain and then the wind started to pick up and then whoosh. And you know, they talk about the roar of an engine. You hear people who've been through these extraordinary weather events, say in the United States, you hear them talk about it was roaring like a train. That's what it was like. I mean, I'm not comparing it to what happens in the US, but the sound of the wind and these Norfolk pines, which have been here for decades, actually swaying and one of them snapping in two, it was just frightening. So we ran to another part of our place where we thought if something does hit the roof or hit our place, we might be a little safer. That's how frightening it was. We really thought that we were going to cop something.
Anyway, you didn't, and that's the main thing.
I know, and of course, that's nothing. The damage around our place is nothing compared to what other people have got, and also to that poor woman who lost her life. And I think that's what, you know, it was so hot in Sydney yesterday. People were at the beach enjoying themselves pre-Christmas. And this came out of nowhere. And I gather it was a very narrow weather band. It didn't really extend too far. It just had this, and there's a weather term, I think it's called a microburst. I've read that somewhere, where it's a very fast, narrow weather event. And truly, John, minutes after it had passed, it looked like nothing had happened. The sky was getting clearer, except if you looked at the ground, it was covered in debris.
What a hell of an experience.
Oh, unbelievable. And I've never in all my years experienced anything like that weather-wise. Truly, it was just extraordinary.
New South Wales Premier Dominic Perrottet has only been in the job for a matter of minutes, but already his mettle is being tested like no one before him, I think. Just when we thought the Delta strain of the virus was virulent, the Omicron variety is proving to be even more so, and that's given parts of the media, and especially the ABC, the chance to catastrophise every new case that comes along, and that is exactly what they're doing. But how quickly we forget. I mean, when New South Wales first talked about opening up, all of the health models were predicting doom and gloom. That failed to eventuate, didn't it? The decision to ease the rules on masks and QR codes and freedoms for the unvaccinated have only come in over the last week. So, you know, you're a bit hasty if you're complaining about that already. And the fact that is now coincided with the highest number of daily cases suddenly has got some people in a spin. But the vaccination rates of 95%, the level of protection is through the roof. It means that while the case numbers are much higher, the impact of the virus on most people is actually much lower than it was before. And while it circulates like this, the all-important herd immunity is being built up. You know, if we go back to the much vaunted national roadmap, it had planned for an easing of restrictions from 70% coverage rates and beyond. Well, can you imagine how it would look if we're having achieved a 95% rate of double vaccinations in New South Wales and the state was still under lock and key? It would be craziness. People would be rightly wondering why the hell we went to such lengths to push the vaccination message so hard. For people with existing ailments and pregnant women and others who are vulnerable, then the Omicron strain remains a threat, and it does. But for most others, the situation is more akin to a bad cold, from what the experts are saying. It's not forcing the bulk of these cases into hospital. Some sections of the media have talked it up, but they haven't been able to accept the reality of it. I mean, case numbers were always going to spike when you're allowing in people from overseas, free movement across borders, and other easing of restrictions. They're always going to spike. Yet some people are deciding to cancel Christmas functions. Rather than have a government designed to grant certain freedoms to them, why aren't people taking responsibility for themselves? I'm sorry, I don't get it at all. What about personal responsibility? If you want to wear a mask, bloody wear one. There's been no edict not to wear one. You know, these are matters of personal responsibility. If you're prepared to take any personal responsibility, and it appears a lot of people aren't.
John, I rang you last year. My daughter was murdered 4 years ago.
Yeah, I remember talking to you.
Yeah. I rang you a couple of times, but we couldn't talk about it because the trial hadn't come up.
But now it has?
It has, yeah. We had it up in Brisbane Supreme Court, and it went for a month. It was a most extraordinary case.
Okay, but tell me this, is the trial over?
Yes. He got sentenced. He got life.
Oh, dear.
Kim went out, took rubbish out to the bin, and he was waiting down the road for her. He was like, they were never divorced. Kim sort of still was seeing him. And she lived with me since 2003. She moved in with me when I lost my late husband. And but she still he just sort of had that control over her. She wouldn't sort of divorce him or leave him, but he attacked Kim with a hammer when he got arrested. He had his car there all set up. He had a towel on the seat. It was like, and only for my ex-son-in-law coming around that night at 11 o'clock, he found Kim on the road, on the footpath.
Oh, dear.
The fence and tried to get away, and he rang his elder son at 3 hours later. He was down the bush, so they got him that night. But it's just a horrible story that we had to sit through.
And it really is a horrible story, and it's a horrible story to have to relive at this time of the year too, Alwyn.
Yeah. Well, we've had 4 years now, but what men can sort of do, we want to get it out there, domestic violence.
Oh, it's a bad thing. It really is a horrible thing, domestic violence. Totally inexcusable, and it's one of the most prominent crimes in Australia, believe it or not.
for you, listener. Second time caller. I have a 10-year-old shepherd, beautiful dog, 63 kilos, that I have to have euthanized tomorrow.
Oh, dear, Ken.
And he's been much loved, much patted at the Coles Shopping Centre in Yamba.
Why does he have to be put down?
He has a tumour in his leg, which started off with like a pigeon egg. It's now past the golf ball.
Oh, dear.
Can't walk. He's trying to walk on 3 legs.
Oh, dear.
Gentle as a lamb. So anybody that's listening, and I know there's a lot from the Yamba Shopping Centre at Coles, Charge won't be back there.
Oh, dear.
That was it, John. Thank you.
You'd better... No, don't go yet. You'd better get a new dog.
Oh, too old, mate. We're 81.
Oh, you're not too old. Don't be silly. You're not too old.
No.
And apart from that, when you go, he can be passed on to somebody who will, or she, whatever the dog is, can be passed on to somebody who will love it equally. No. Get another dog.
Well, think about it, but so far...
No, mate, don't think about it. Do it. Get another dog. It's going to be different to that dog, but it will learn to love you, and you will learn to love it, and you'll have a wonderful relationship with that new dog. Please get another dog.
I'm looking at him now, and he's sitting there, look, very, very well known in Yamba. Everybody knows Charge.
Yeah, well, I'm sure. So get yourself another dog. All the people in Yamba will be keen for you to have another dog, and they'll be watching out to meet the new dog. And you can bet your boots that all the people in Yamba will spoil that new dog. They'll love him like you will love him.
We'll see what we can do.
Please get a new dog.
Anyway, we'll have to talk about my wife. But there'll be another one like Charge.
Oh, no, well, there'll never be another one like that, but you'll be surprised. He'll adapt. Okay?
We'll talk about it. Thanks, John. Thank you. Have a Merry Christmas.
And you too, and your family, but please get another dog.
Okay, John. Thanks very much.
Okay, Ken. Bye. Yeah. It makes me really, really sad. It does, because I just love animals, and I can understand how he feels. And he won't be feeling very good at the moment.
Traffic update.
Villawood Hume Highway, Henry Lawson Drive, truck breakdown westbound lane 4. Chippendale City Road, Broadway, an accident northbound direction. And Roselands, Canterbury Road, approaching King George's Road, looking at a build-up of traffic in all directions. All clear through Eastern Creek through the Lighthorse interchange. Don't forget to stock up your zero alcohol drinks this Christmas with Sands Drinks. Shop online with free same-day delivery for orders over $99. sandsdrinks.com.au. That's the latest traffic on the John Laws Morning
If you're
Show.
looking to start a business, buying a franchise is an excellent option. And with All Group Franchises, you'll have ongoing support. The home services industry is experiencing rapid growth as people are too busy to maintain their homes. All Group Franchises offers a range of home services franchise options, including lawns and gardens, and you'll be trained in every aspect. Visit allgroupfranchises.com.au or call 0429 691 413. That's 0429 691 413.
We can do most anything when together we stand side by side, making a change for the better, smiling the tears in our eyes, 'cause boys do cry, boys do cry.
When the going gets tough, get talking. Discover more at boysdocry.com.au.
For radio lovers, it all adds up. DAB Plus is the innovation to your favourite station, where the music is nearer, like the announcers are sat in your rearview mirror. And with DAB Plus, there's even more for us. Hip-hop, kids pop, 80s and jazz, more than 20 extra stations, just as soon as you upgrade your audio with a brand new radio. Because there's more to love for us on DAB+.
Finance Easy can help you through these uncertain financial times. Whether you need to get on top of bills, business loans, car loans, equipment finance, Finance Easy can take the stress out of finding finance with Australia's best rates. We are here to support the community. Chat to us online or over the phone and let us take care of everything. Visit financeeasy.com.au or call 1300 003 003. Finance Easy. That's EZI. We make getting what you want easy.
Bloody arthritis. Why suffer? Use Arthrobalm. No more pain. Tell them, Judy.
I receive hundreds of phone calls from satisfied users.
ask for Arthrobalm. It works.
Grab your bonus offer today, exclusive to Bloom's Chemist. Buy one, get one free. That's right. Buy one, get one free. Or buy direct. 1300 883 869. 1300 883 869.
This is the John Laws Morning Show. What's on your mind, Australia?
And now, more of The Week Went That Way. The best of the John Laws Show.
I'm ringing up to say that 81-year-olds have good memories. In the early 80s, I worked for Brambles and I needed some trucks.
Yep.
And I rang you on a Saturday morning. That's how far away it was.
Yeah.
Way back. And you put ads over the radio and I had trucks coming out of my ears. I haven't forgotten that, but I never, ever said thank you. So, good morning, thank you.
Well, thank you, Joe.
No, you're more than welcome. I love you.
Okay. Good on you, Joe. Thank you very much. I hope you have a wonderful Christmas and a wonderful holiday period if you're taking a holiday, Joe. But thank you for the call. It was nice of you to call even. It might have been a little bit late, but it doesn't matter. The thought was still sincere, and that's the main thing. You might remember I said last week, or I think the week before, that the approval rating of the Prime Minister, even though it hadn't been indicated by any polls, but I had a feeling it was slipping. I think I said that the shine has worn off the Prime Minister. Well, the latest polls released today have shown us that voters are starting to lose a lot of faith in the Prime Minister, that the gloss is wearing off. Based on a poll from The Guardian, it's been revealed that Scott Morrison's appeal has taken a nosedive by 19 points this year. Oof, that's a big fall from grace, to say the least. 19 points. He peaked in February this year when 65% of respondents said that they were satisfied with his performance. But in the final poll of the year, with nearly 1,200 respondents, that's a lot of respondents, the survey found that only 46% of people approved of his performance. You know, he's been under a lot of scrutiny over several mishaps this year, most notably the extensive delay of the COVID vaccine rollout. Not to mention he's facing a lot of controversy over the Coalition's car park funds scandal and the claims of a toxic culture involving sexual harassment in Canberra. He's got a bit on his plate, admittedly. He's also taken a blunder in the polls after the preferred Prime Minister. He was originally 52% in February, which has since dropped to 42%, 10 points. That's a big drop. But despite his approval rating slipping, he still remains ahead of Anthony Albanese as the preferred Prime Minister. Only 31% of respondents say they preferred Anthony Albanese as Prime Minister, despite 40% of respondents in the survey saying that they were happy with his performance. I think people are learning to like Anthony Albanese. I think he's sort of slowly breaking down the barriers. Anyway, the data gives a very clear view that Scott Morrison needs to make some very serious changes if he hopes to secure a solid victory in the next election. Although Anthony Albanese isn't in the lead as the preferred Prime Minister, he might have a chance to gain voter approval next year, and he might even pass Scott Morrison in the polls. You never can tell.
But John, what I'm ringing for is I've listened to you for many, many years, and I think you are an absolute saint with some of the phone calls, some of the stuff you put up with. You're a very, very patient and tolerant man. I think what you have done in the industry, it deserves so many accolades. It's not funny. And I'm an ex-serviceman, and I've just had to spend a few weeks in a clinic with mental health. But
dear. Are you okay now?
Mental health is a topic that gets overlooked, and I kept something inside me for over 45 years before I blew the whistle, and it nearly destroyed me. It absolutely nearly destroyed me, John.
But tell me, how does it affect you?
Today I get anxiety, I get depressed severely, which I'm trying my hardest to get around, because, as I say, you can go to people for help. At the end of the day, you've got to be prepared to help yourself.
Yeah, and that can be a very difficult thing to do, particularly if you become severely depressed. It's hard to find the light at the end of the tunnel, but you've got to work hard at it.
Yes, that's true, and I've had a very, very supportive family. My wife's been there twice with open heart surgery and with my recent complication in hospital. But no, I'm just ringing to wish you and all the listeners out there a very Merry Christmas, and let's just hope that there's some solution to this COVID outbreak.
Oh, let's hope there is. Trevor, do you have medical problems now? I mean, are you able to spend Christmas at home and have a nice normal Christmas?
Yes, John, I am able to do that. We're actually going away and having some time with family and friends, so something we're looking forward to. But no, I've had a heck of a lot of support from family and friends, and it's been outstanding.
Okay, well, do have a happy Christmas and send my best wishes to your family and particularly to your wife, who obviously has had to put up with a bit. Gets difficult for the ladies of the household, but I'm sure she's done a remarkable job.
Oh, good morning, Mr. Laws. How are you?
I'm pretty good, Catherine. How are you?
Oh, not bad. God love you. You're still around. Bless you.
I am, yes.
I'm going to put you on to my mother. Now, she's 96.
Oh.
And I've just moved back home after 39 years because she's that old and she needs a bit of help.
Yep.
However, she listens to you every morning, and when you were gone and not around, she wasn't very impressed. But she listens to your stories, but she doesn't talk back to you anymore as much as what she used to. But back in the day, she'd argue with the people that you were, that were being a bit silly on radio.
Yeah.
Just going to put you on. It'll be a very brief, I would think, and she'll just, she'll be very excited. So hold on just...
Okay, hang on. What's her name?
Valerie.
Valerie. Okay, I got it.
Mum, you've got someone that wants to say hello to you.
Oh, no.
Hold on, listen to who it is.
Who? Hello?
Hello, Valerie.
Hello, Valerie. I don't get Valerie very often. It's John Laws. It's John Laws, is it?
Yes, it is, Valerie. It's me.
How are you, John?
Well, I'm very well, darling. How are you?
Oh, I'm very good. I listen to you every day. I've been listening to you for years, so I'm getting older with you every day.
Well, that's wonderful, and I'm glad that you listen. How old are you now?
96.
Oh, you're just a girl.
Yes, that's right. I won't have much longer to go with you, but you're not my age, so you've got a while to go yet, John.
Yeah, well, you've got a long time to go. I mean, don't you go till I go. You've got to stay with me, Valerie.
Well, I hope you don't go because it'd be terrible. I won't have anybody to listen to.
No, I'm not planning on going anywhere at the moment. Touch wood.
That's good. That's good, John. Well, I'm pleased to have talked to you this morning.
And I'm delighted to have spoken to you, Valerie. I do hope that you have a happy Christmas.
Thank you, John, and same with you. I hope you have a very happy time too.
Thank you. That's very sweet of you. And Catherine, thank you very much for putting Valerie on to us.
Oh, that's okay, darling. I know that'll make a day now.
All right. I hope you have a happy Christmas. Okay, and show her a lot of love. She's good.
Yeah, she's a good girl.
Well, it is that I must leave you now, and I'm going to leave you for a while. And I'm going to miss you. But I hope you all have a very, very happy Christmas and a very rewarding New Year. Try and make people happy. I'm sure you will. But as I say, I'll miss you. But you all take care of yourselves and be kind to each other.
Let me be a little kinder, let me be a little blinder to the faults of those about me. Let me praise a little more. Let me be when I'm weary just a little bit more cheery. Think a little more of others and a little less of me. Let me be a little braver when temptation bids me waver. Let me try a little harder to be all that I should be. Let me be a little meeker with the brother that is weaker. Let me think more of my neighbor and a little less of me. just a little bit more cherry. Let me serve a little better those that I'm striving for. Let me be a little meeker with the brother that is weaker. Think a little more of others and a little less of me.
Abbotsbury M7 approaching Elizabeth Drive, a truck breakdown southbound lane 1. Villawood, the Hume motorway, Henry Lawson Drive, a truck broken down westbound lane 4. And the Hume Highway approaching Narella Road off-ramp. We've got reports of a two-car accident in a southbound direction. Need a Christmas gift and want to skip the traffic? Get the gift that keeps on giving with a crypto gift card. Gift your friends and family an e-gift card now at cryptoforchristmas.com.au. And the latest traffic on 2SM 1269.
With more and more people preferring to shop online these days, a new website from List Designs will help you harness these potential customers. List Designs will create a website for your business that's affordable, functional, and looks fantastic. Mention 2SM and get an HTML or WordPress 10-page website tailor-made for your specific requirements from just $600. Go to lisdesigns.com.au or call List Designs on 0422 356 850.
Hi, Graham Hughes. When it comes to managing arthritis and other aches and pains, I can personally recommend Arbor Vitae Joint Health. Old football injuries meant that I was staring down the barrel of knee surgery until I discovered Arbor Vitae Joint Health. Always read the label, use only as directed, and if symptoms persist, consult your healthcare professional. Go to Arbor Vitae, ARBORVITAE.com.au or phone them 1300 879 863.
Nobody loves Christmas more than kids. The anticipation, the food, and of course, the visits from Santa. This year, some kids will be too sick and Christmas will be spent in a hospital ward or outreach centre. Light up your home with festive lights this December to show your support for sick and injured kids spending Christmas in hospital. Spread the word and encourage your friends to donate, all to support the Sydney Children's Hospitals Foundation. For more information, go to lightsforkids.org.
If you want money for anything, anywhere, call Finance Easy. Your new car, boat, caravan, motorbike, whatever you'd like, big or small, Finance Easy can find you the money. You just make one call and they do the rest. It's that easy. They can even come to you. Call the down-to-earth team at Finance Easy and tell them what you need the money for and they'll arrange it hassle-free. If you want fast, same-day approval and rates better than the banks, call Finance Easy on their Easy hotline, 1300 003 003 or visit financeeasy.com.au.
At Peters of Kensington, we've opened our doors to luxury shopping for more than 40 years. That's why at Peters, you'll find the biggest range of top brands, all at great prices. So whether you want to complete your home or you're looking for the perfect gift, you can trust Peters to deliver. Reward yourself with an experience. Peters of Kensington, everything you could wish for.
All the news you need now. 2SM.
In this bulletin, masks to be mandated in parts of Queensland from tomorrow. A man expected to be charged over money laundering in Sydney's inner suburbs, and some good news for the Matildas. I'm Diane Coveney-Garland. More restrictions will come into effect in Queensland from the early hours of tomorrow morning. Masks will be mandatory for people in cinemas and theatres and for hospitality staff. Queensland Premier Anastasia Palaszczuk says it's aimed at reducing the spread of the virus.
I'm quite sure that Queenslanders will respond positively to this move as we head into Christmas and New Year. It's only a few days out from Christmas and a few days out from New Year, and I want to ensure that Queenslanders have a very good Christmas.
Well, the quarantine period for close contacts of COVID-19 cases has been halved in the Sunshine State. That means people who've had both doses will need to quarantine for just 7 days, not 14. They'll also have to return negative tests on days 1 and 5, while businesses listed as exposure sites in Queensland no longer need to close and undergo a deep clean. Cleaning can now be carried out overnight with standard cleaning products. New South Wales has reported a record 3,763 new COVID-19 cases in the latest testing period. 2 people died from the virus in the state in the last 24 hours. A man is expected to be charged after being arrested over an alleged money laundering scheme. Detectives uncovered a syndicate using cash to fund the purchase of investment properties and the operating costs of other associated businesses. Police raided 2 properties in Pyrmont and Barangaroo in Sydney's inner suburbs this morning. They seized cocaine, cash and documentation and arrested a 34-year-old man in Pyrmont. New South Wales Police Commissioner Mick Fuller will hand over the reins soon to the first female to take on the top job in the state. Karen Webb will take over the position next year. Mr Fuller says the nature of crime is changing. He's told John Laws technology has made a big difference.
You have contemporary crimes like having your car stolen or your house broken into, and whilst they're at record lows at the moment, we see the evolution of new types of crime, particularly around technology-based crime. So you're always looking in the rear-view mirror for crimes of yesterday, but then at the same time, every day there's a new crime syndicate looking for a new criminal opportunity.
A man's died in a crash on the New South Wales south coast. The motorbike he was riding collided with a car at an intersection at Shell Harbour at 6:45 this morning. The motorcyclist was treated by paramedics at the scene but was unable to be revived. The 61-year-old woman who was driving the car was taken to hospital for mandatory testing. The New South Wales Veterans Affairs Minister David Elliott is looking at the establishment of a cemetery for war heroes. It would be set up like the Arlington National Cemetery in the United States. Mr Elliott says he's been working on the proposal for some time.
The idea came to me when I was Veterans Minister in the last Parliament, when I visited a memorial to Robert Weir, who was the first Australian to ever die on active service. He was a private soldier, a trooper in the Sudan in 1885. And there's a memorial to him near Kiama, and yet his body is still just buried under a bunch of rocks in a small grave in the Sudan, near Khartoum.
A 40-year-old man is recovering in hospital after an aggravated break and enter in central west New South Wales. Police say he confronted 2 men in his Dubbo home at 2 o'clock this morning. He suffered a stab wound before being knocked unconscious. His attackers are yet to be located. Police have charged a man with murder after a body was found in the green waste at a garbage dump in Adelaide's northwest. Workers made the gruesome discovery. They found the body of the 52-year-old man at the Wingfield Integrated Waste Services yesterday. The accused was known to his alleged victim. A 28-year-old Sydney man will face Liverpool local court charged with possessing child abuse material. Police raided the man's Moorebank home yesterday after he allegedly uploaded child abuse material to social media platforms. The maximum penalty for these offences is between 10 and 15 years. A delivery driver has been attacked by a dog on the Sunshine Coast. The man was delivering a package to a home in Noosa when he was bitten on the arm. He spent several days in hospital as a result. While in a separate incident, a woman was mauled by a dog at nearby Ridgewood. Both dogs have been suspended to council. A male police officer has been arrested and charged with rape in Queensland. The 52-year-old man is accused of sexually assaulting a woman while off duty in 1999. He's been suspended and will face Brisbane Magistrates Court next month. The ruler of Dubai has been ordered to pay his ex-wife a divorce settlement which could reach more than $700 million. The BBC's Frank Gardner reports.
The sums are absolutely eye-watering. I mean, between $300,000 and $400,000 a year alone just for the pets. 3 cars had been given to one of her sons, who's only age 9. These are very, very... We're not talking about tiny little toys here. We're talking about expensive things that can actually drive. But security really has been the main thing, because the judge ruled in her favour that she needed, as he put it, watertight security, because the main threat to her security came not from outsiders, but from her ex-husband himself.
A 20-year-old woman who failed to provide a breath sample when pulled over by police in central Queensland has been disqualified from driving. Police say the woman swerved on the road near Yeppoon on December 4 and almost crashed into a guardrail. Officers pulled her over and she was breath tested at the scene, but refused to undergo another test at the local police station. She's also been fined $750. An app has been created to help people properly utilise rapid antigen test kits. Many people are opting to use them rather than line up for a PCR test. Guardian CEO Graham Gordon says an incorrect result could be dangerous.
It's very user-friendly and it's focused around an app that is downloadable onto your phone, and it manages your process or the instructions for use, for using any of the kits that are available.
Parents are being urged to pay extra attention while their children are in and around the water. A child can drown in as little as 5 centimetres of water. Sydney Children's Hospitals Network Manager of Health Promotion, Sue Wicks, says drowning can happen really quickly.
There certainly is a perception that adults will hear a child who is in trouble in the water and drowning, but the reality is it is silent. So you don't hear splashes, you don't hear cries, you don't hear anything. And that's how children can disappear so quickly in water.
And 2 men have been arrested in Spain after trying to raffle off a Christmas hamper full of drugs. Police raided a drug den and to their surprise they found the raffle taking place. The men were selling tickets in the raffle with prizes including cocaine, cannabis, alcohol and, of course, a Christmas ham. In sport, cricket fans are likely to have to wear masks if they attend the Boxing Day test at the MCG. They may not have to cover their faces in the stands, but they'll have to have masks on while lining up to buy food or drinks or to get into the game. The Dolphins still have only one marquee signing, Felice Kaufusi, but the Melbourne Storm forward says he'd love some of his teammates to join him at the new club. He says he'd love Harry Grant and Cameron Munster to sign up. Kaufusi admits it would be great if the Newcastle Knights' Kalen Ponga was also convinced to join the team. Czech world number 32 Karolina Muchova will miss the Australian Open. The 25-year-old, who made the last 4 of the tournament this year, is going to miss the game through injury. She hasn't played tennis since her first-round loss at the US Open in September. She joins a number of other players, including Jennifer Brady, Serena Williams and Bianca Andreescu, in missing the first major of the year. Great news for Perth Glory, with players and staff granted permission to return to Perth tomorrow. They've been in quarantine in Brisbane since last Thursday after a player tested positive to COVID-19. They'll be able to spend their mandatory 14-day quarantine period at home. Sydney FC will take on the Brisbane Roar tonight in the FFA Cup. The Central Coast Mariners downed APIA Leichhardt 6-0 last night to secure a spot in the FFA Cup semi-finals. 2 other FFA Cup games and an A-League game which was set down for tonight have been postponed. And in basketball, the Sydney Kings will line up against the Tasmania Jack Jumpers at Kudos Bank Arena tonight. In finance, the All Ordinaries is down 12 points at 7,655. Oil is worth $71 a barrel. Gold's trading at $17.89 an ounce, and $1 Australian dollar is buying 71.46 US cents. This is Super Network News.
2SM Sydney weather.
Cloudy with a chance of showers and a late thunderstorm and light winds becoming southeasterly. We're heading for top temperatures of 27 degrees in the city, 31 in the west. Looking further ahead, showers tomorrow, possible showers Friday and for Christmas Day. At the moment in the city, it's 27 degrees, 26 at Bankstown, 26 at Richmond. That's the latest 2SM News. I'm Diane Coveney Garland.
Happy Christmas!
Santa comes. Get presents from Santa. He comes down the chimney, in the window, or through the door.
Merry Christmas from all of us on the Super Radio Network.
Brent Voltitude in the afternoon. Phone now to have your say. 13 12 69.
Good afternoon. Thank you for your company on my last shift for the year. What a strange, long year it's been. I was just saying to Kelly, I think the only days I've really had off are the holidays and when I had a tooth out, which was, I think, 2 or 3 days. So we've been lucky enough to work every single day through this damn COVID-19 thing, and for that we thank the boss. We really do appreciate it. So it's our last gig for the year. We're going to have a bit of fun this afternoon. We've got a couple of regular guests, and I'm really pleased to say Mark Latham is one of our regular guests. And I've got to say, Mark Latham is the guest. There are two people that put so much into each and every appearance, each and every week on this show, and we thank them for it because they do it for nothing. They do it out of their, their love for us, and we thank them, and that is Dr. Ross Walker, of course. And the second guy is Mark Latham. Mark Latham turns up each and every week, sometimes comes into the studio. He always makes himself available, and we really appreciate that. So we thought it would be nice to have him, normally on a Thursday. I'm not here tomorrow, so he's in at 1:30 this afternoon. We'll touch on some of the local news stories that are around at the moment, but we'll also have a chat with him about Christmas, so we thank Mark Latham. He's going to be on the show this afternoon. And also, we'll talk some tech. One of my favourite subjects is tech, all these sort of things. So Jeff Cotramani, he's going to join us a bit after 2 o'clock, and we'll talk tech, Christmas tech, all those sort of things. Apart from that, it's the chance for you to have your say this afternoon. How are you going to spend Christmas? Are you going away? Are you seeing some special people that you haven't seen in years, in months, in a long time because of the COVID-19 situation? Or are you like me? You're just going to go out with your lovely wife and spend Christmas Day, the two of you together. That's what we're doing. No family, no nothing. It's just the two of us. We don't have any friends, Kelly. It's just the two of us. I can't wait. And our ham, yes. Thank you, Uncle Kevin, for the ham. So what I thought we'd do, it's 2 days, 11 hours, 47 minutes and 12 seconds until Christmas Day. We're going to play some Christmas music this afternoon. We haven't played a lot of Christmas music. I hope Mr. Cochrane's not listening because we're going to play all our favourites this afternoon, which I don't believe are on the music sheet, but it is Christmas after all. And I thought, yes, we're going to play Chris Rea. We always, as a tradition, play Driving Home for Christmas as the very last song we play each and every year. So we'll do that. And I thought we'd start with something completely different. This is our first Christmas track for the day. It's something different. You won't find it on a record. One of my favourite Australian, I won't call him country artists, I suppose he's known as a country artist, has got to be Keith Urban, right? Keith Urban has recorded a couple of Christmas songs, but this is from a live performance that he gave in the States not too long ago. It's the first of our Christmas music. I hope you enjoy it. This is Keith Urban. Happy Christmas.
Have yourself a merry little Christmas. Let your heart be light. From now on, our troubles will be out of sight. Have yourself a merry little Christmas. Make the Yuletide gay. From now on, our troubles will be miles away. gather near to us once more. Through the years, we all will be together, if the fates allow. Hang a shining star upon the highest bough, and have yourself a merry little Christmas now. Through the years, we all will be together, if the fates allow. So hang a shining star upon the highest bough. Oh, and have yourself a merry little Christmas now. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Thank you, Keith. Isn't that a nice version? Have yourself a merry little Christmas, Keith Urban style. Warren's on the phone. Hi, Warren. How are you this afternoon?
I didn't know whether that cheering was for you, Kelly, or myself.
I think it's for all of us.
You're all very well. How are you? And thanks for taking my call during the year. And I'm wishing yourself and your family a very Merry Christmas and prosperous and happy and healthy New Year.
Thank you, Warren, and the same from all of us back to you and your family.
Thank you so much. Now, I'd like to just quickly ask you, I know that you've got Mark Latham coming on, which I think he's been terrific all year. He has an interest in thoroughbreds. Right. I think he is involved in the breeding side, and he may be a part owner or owner of. I'd love to get his tilt on, of course, nearly the moron of the year, Adam Brandt, of course, who has encouraged young people to smoke dope and wants to shut down an industry that puts out $8 billion a year into the economy, 160,000 jobs. You know, just to say just a couple of things about the industry, and that's a whole, of course. That would be greyhound racing, thoroughbreds and standard breds. I'd love to get Mark's tilt on that and what you particularly think of the wonderful Adam Brandt.
Okay, that's done. I had that down to ask him anyway, but we'll ask him. I think we know what he thinks of Adam Brandt, and it's probably along similar lines to what I think of Adam Brandt. I think he's a pest. I think he's an idiot, and I think he'd be best to go away and retire.
Well, that's right. And the Greens, everybody thought, you know, the Greens were like tree huggers and save the koalas, you know, save the rainforest and that, but they don't appear to be that anymore. They seem to have these hidden agendas where they just want to shut down all economies, and you can't eat meat, you can't do this, you can't have racing, you can't have, well, they'd probably want to have no sport at all and just turn it all into parks, I suppose, but they've just seemed to have completely drifted away, and I think old Each Way Albo, I think if he had the, credibility, he'd get up there and denounce them.
But he can't, you see. He can't, Warren. He needs them, because I just believe that if the Labor Party beat the coalition in May, it will. Well, it's looking very much like, according to all the polls, that it will be a minority government, right? Now, if it's a minority government, they're going to need every single vote they can get, and to get those votes, they need the Greens, and to get the Greens, they have to give the Greens something.
Yes, that's right. So one would be hoping that it's not some of the things that I've already mentioned.
They won't shut down. They won't shut down the racing industry. Could you imagine the uproar if the Labor Party were to try and shut down the racing industry?
Oh, I can imagine. But it's just some of the ridiculous things this guy comes out with. I'd say probably no wonder he's getting students to smoke dope. I suppose he's been on it himself.
Absolutely. And look, they just live in a different world. But the scary thing is 12% of Australians vote for the Greens.
I know. Maybe we're all doing the wrong thing, Brent. Maybe we should join.
I don't know. But I will put that to Mark. All right?
Terrific.
Thank you for being a regular caller. It's always nice to talk to you, Warren. And as we said, I hope that you and your family have a lovely Christmas and all the best for a prosperous 2022 for all of us.
Terrific, mate. Thank you so much.
Talk to you next year. See you, mate. Bye-bye. Thank you, Warren. And if you want to have your say this afternoon, even if it's just to ring up and say Happy Christmas, or ring up and say don't have a Happy Christmas, you can do what you like. You can send us an email if you like. Go to the 2SM website. Click on the feedback button. Follow the prompts through to the afternoon show. Look for my name, Brent Bultitude, and send me your thoughts. Or call 13 12 69 as we broadcast Monday to Friday across New South Wales and into southern Queensland. This is the Super Radio Network.
2SM Traffic.
Castle Hill, Old Northern Road, just past Castle Hill Road, a 3-car accident northbound lane 1. Campbelltown, the Hume Motorway, southbound off-ramp to Narella Road, a truck and car collision in a southbound direction. We've got services in attendance there. And very heavy traffic, the M7 approaching Elizabeth Drive, southbound with a truck broken down. At Coles Express, 'tis a season for easy entertaining with snacks, drinks, and gas bottles and ice. For easy entertaining, express yourself at Coles Express. That's the latest traffic on 2SM 1269.
Hi, Matt Welsh here. In Australia, drowning is one of the biggest killers of kids under 5. So take a few minutes to check your pool barrier set for this summer. Visit kidsafe.com.au to find out how. Because safe barriers save lives.
Danny's Seafood Restaurant offers everything you'd expect when dining out. A superb location, outstanding value, excellent service, and an extensive menu catering for all tastes. Anytime is a good time for beautiful fresh seafood, and if you haven't tried Danny's famous fish and chips, do it soon. Other popular choices include fresh lobster, oysters and crabs, as well as tender, juicy steaks and pastas. Danny's Seafood Restaurant. Book your table online now at dannysseafood.com.au.
Imagine never using toilet paper again. Just by changing your toilet seat, you can install an automatic bidet seat from the Bidet Shop that will wash you with warm water, then help dry you off with warm air. And the water the bidet provides has silver ions, helping protect you from germs and viruses. Mention this ad and get a standard installation free or up to $200 off. The Bidet Shop. That's THEBIDET shop.com.au or phone 80 39 45 18.
If you're looking to start a business, buying a franchise is an excellent option, and with All Group Franchises, you'll have ongoing support. The home services industry is experiencing rapid growth as people are too busy to maintain their homes. All Group Franchises offers a range of home services franchise options, including lawns and gardens, and you'll be trained in every aspect. Visit allgroupfranchises.com.au or call 0429 691 413. That's 0429 691 413.
You only have to talk to someone who takes Arbor Vitae like Peter Wilson to realise how it can help you manage arthritis and other aches and pains.
I was using various things and trying different things until I decided that I had to find something that would work. I did nothing else other than a Google search actually and came across Arbor Vitae, and it definitely made a difference to my joint pain within a few weeks.
Always read the label, use only as directed, and if symptoms persist, see your healthcare professional. To order online or to find the location of your nearest Arbor Vitae stockist, go to Arbor Vitae. That's ARBORVITAE.com.au, or you can phone Arbor Vitae on 1300 879 863.
John Laws has Sydney talking. Weekdays from 9. 2SM.
Across the Super Radio Network, taking your calls on 13 12 69. Brent Bultitude.
Well, there is a news story that broke this morning. What's your thoughts on this? Maybe you want to make a comment. Unvaccinated people could be forced to pay their own medical bills if they end up in hospital with COVID-19. I'm not making it up. We've talked about it before. We know it's mandated in Singapore. If people that are unvaccinated end up sick and have to go to hospital in Singapore, they have to pay the bill themselves. The New South Wales government is said to be considering the radical change to treatment for those who haven't been vaccinated. As the state's daily COVID infections continue to rise, the move would see the government stop forking out for people who are not vaccinated that end up in intensive care, forcing them to pay their own treatments. I'm not making this up. I am not making this up. Apparently, rumour has it that the New South Wales Premier, Dominic Perrottet, has asked his Health Minister, Brad Hazzard, to look into the feasibility of doing this. What do you think it costs to spend one night in bed in an ICU unit? $4,500 a day. In an ICU bed, $4,500 a day. That's the current average cost. Now, that doesn't include if you have to be put on a ventilator. It goes up and up and up, if that be the case. As I said, I'm not making it up. So what do you think? Should unvaccinated people be billed for their COVID medical expenses? It seems as though the New South Wales Premier thinks they should be. Maybe you want to make a comment. We invite you to do so on 13 12 69 or send me your thoughts via email. We have to go back to the newsroom next for a quick news update.
Traffic update.
Abbotsbury, the M7 approaching Elizabeth Drive, truck breakdown southbound lane 1. Campbelltown, the Hume Motorway southbound off-ramp to Norella Road. A truck and car accident southbound won't be long before it's cleared. And Castle Hill, Old Northern Road, just past Castle Hill Road. 3-car accident northbound left-hand lane. On Foxtel this Christmas, discover a cracker of a deal and get all the entertainment you need with Foxtel's Christmas sale. Ends December 24. Search Foxtel or call 131 787.
Do you experience discomfort from varicose veins? Maybe you get leg or ankle swelling, heaviness, fatigue, leg pain, aching or cramping. If so, you may be suffering from chronic venous insufficiency. Nearly 25% of adults are affected with venous reflux disease, with only 17% of people being diagnosed and only 1% receiving treatment. So if you're having trouble with varicose veins, ask your doctor about treatment options and see if the radiofrequency ablation procedure could be right for you. A message from Medtronic.
Finance Easy can help you through these uncertain financial times. Whether you need to get on top of bills, business loans, car loans, equipment finance, Finance Easy can take the stress out of finding finance with Australia's best rates. We are here to support the community. Chat to us online or over the phone and let us take care of everything. Visit financeeasy.com.au or call 1300 003 003. Finance Easy. That's EZI. We make getting what you want easy.
So this is Car Sales' exclusive price indicator matrix, processing thousands of data points about cars, just like the one you want to buy. Make, model, case, you name it.
Huh, cool.
Oh look, it's telling you it's a great deal.
That's smart, but wouldn't it be easier to show a little green tag saying good price or great price next to the car?
Smart.
That way everyone will know a good thing when they see it.
Yeah, so visit carsales.com.au and look out for the green tags. Car Sales. Everything you ought to know.
If building a new home is on your radar, you should think about doing it the Powell Kit Homes way. For your peace of mind, Powell steel frame homes are 6-star energy efficient and can be upgraded to C2 Cyclone and Bushfire Flame Zone ratings. To find out how you can build your own home the Powell Kit Homes way, you go to Powell, that's P-A-L-L, kithomes.com.au, or you can phone Powell on 1-800-024-912. Got it? 1-800-024-912.
Brett Kamoy here for Gallagher Insurance Brokers. More than 100,000 businesses around Australia trust Gallagher. That's 100,000 small, medium and large businesses facing their future with confidence. With Gallagher on your side, you'll be ready to tackle any challenge while covering gaps in your field and protecting your day-to-day. Gallagher, the official insurance broker of the NRL. Visit ajg.com.au or head into your local branch.
Connect with us. Listen to 2SM On Demand. 2smsupernetwork.com.
Hi,
I'm Katrina May. More restrictions will come into effect in Queensland from early tomorrow. Masks will be mandatory for people in cinemas and theatres and for the hospitality staff. But the quarantine period for close contacts has been slashed from 14 days to 7. Another 1,503 new cases of COVID-19 have been recorded in Victoria in the latest testing period. 6 more people have died from the virus in the last 24 hours. Jeroen is commander of the COVID-19 response, says it's important people do the right thing.
If you're just a bit concerned and if you're not quite sure and you're not quite sure what it's all about, then please think about getting a rapid antigen test at a pharmacy or at a supermarket. They're easily and readily available. And we'd encourage increasingly people to start thinking about using rapid antigen tests as part of their staying safe arrangements to check in on your own health and how you're